active.
It's okay. Devin has time to get in then.
Yeah, but no, because apparently I'm going to get Dave Jellybean. So.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Wait, we're live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, cool.
I'm here. Right here.
Devin's here.
Oh, he'll be back.
And welcome.
Devin's just going upstairs.
Welcome to another D20 Live Craft Check. A lot of us are here today. You might notice an arm off in the corner. That's Jordan.
He's here.
Who's here deciding to be a edgelord.
Yep.
You playing the stream
No.
because you haven't figured out how pop-out chat works.
I haven't.
He's got.
Clearly.
But welcome one and all. As always, we are going to probably have long, digressive discussions about every bit of nonsense we can get our hands on.
More so now. There's more of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just gonna be off camera. I'm gonna be the narrator of the evening. Like,
Is that you
And
do know,
as-
you're
as my-
literally not, if you're not on screen, you shouldn't be talking. That's literally a thing.
is
How
it?
about
Yes.
shut up?
Get your ass on screen.
Yeah, just lean in like there.
Yeah.
All you have to
I
do is
said
move
the
over
bowl.
a foot.
Oh my god! I had made an ass groove in the carpet. I was comfortable.
And look, now you're in the shot.
Am
I
I?
can turn. Hang on. I can turn the camera a little more.
There we go.
See that? You make
Okay.
Sam get up, and she has to work now. Sexist.
All right.
I am wildly yes.
So we're here, and we are answering your questions, as is always our way.
There's questions?
Sometimes.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sign up for this.
A lot of people are saying hello. Someone is apologizing for that they might say something stupid. So is Jordan the horse master or whore master after he circumstances kingmaker antics?
Well, we didn't
So
turn
Devin
them
doesn't
into
know what happened
prostitutes,
last
so I'm
I,
gonna say
I heard
horse
about the horse master antics.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
for those of you who don't know, what happened was last Friday we were playing Kingmaker.
We were.
Which was the game that brought us all together originally
Yes.
as a team.
Yes.
And what happened was their horses died. And they decided to...
oh, our horses died. You killed them.
Yeah.
Yes, but they did die.
That is the thing that happened.
From
yes.
giant swamp eels. And because I couldn't hit them, but I could hit their horses. And I find that hitting their horses is a really good way to piss them off.
He broke our bikes out of spite.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
So, Jordan decided to... What? Oh my god, do not throw that on my carpet!
It's a bag.
I don't know what's over there. It's out of frame, dumbass. I can't see it.
I threw it on the carpet.
Okay.
What the hell happened to you?
It was a super intense cinnamon jelly bean, of which was disgusting. And I threw it in a bag. Anyway, sorry. So, long story short, Mike was spiteful, killed all our horses.
Yep.
We then needed horses, because we're in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
And we're not going to spend a really expensive resurrection spell on a bunch of fucking horses that we're just going to replace immediately. So we're like, well, what do we have? And I'm like, well, I'm a druid. I've got reincarnate.
Yep.
We can see what happens. I mean, we've got a bunch of corpses. Let's roll the dice,
just-
quite literally. Let's see what happens. So I cast reincarnate twice, performed literal, like, minor nature miracles.
Yes.
To the sound of Enya.
I actually I put Enya on my phone,
Yep. Yep.
and I role-played it being like the clouds surrounding us burst apart and light shone through. And because we have pot lights in the ceiling, that was really easy to remember.
Yeah.
To imagine. And like flower petals would swirl around us and the grass would blow out and it was this whole big thing. And we brought the horses back from the dead.
As women.
One as an orc woman.
Half orc,
sorry. And the other as a human woman.
Now explain why this is, Mike.
Now, what
Because
happens with reincarnate is they remember very, very clearly being horses.
Mm-hmm.
And they remember their life as horses.
Yep.
But they also don't suddenly gain the magical ability to speak English because they were fucking horses.
Yep.
So I was like, well, I speak animal speak, I think.
which you do as a druid.
Which I do as a druid. So I was like, hey, you used to be a horse. You're not a horse anymore.
Are you okay?
Are you okay? And one of them was very not okay and ran away.
I had to summon my my ebon fly, which is horrifying.
It's a dumpster-sized fly.
That I can ride.
Dave can ride like an Apache helicopter. So you think coming back as a completely different being after dying is terrifying? Imagine Dave
Chasing you
him
down.
a dumpster-sized black fly.
With the stats of a Pegasus.
And that
But the
lady was,
VTOL ability of a Harrier.
Thank God you guys were in the middle of fucking nowhere. So
yeah, we don't.
that's a lord of a local country. a small developing micronation that just kidnapped a naked woman.
Well, not kidnapped, rescued technically. But my point is that I don't want to have to explain the PR for this to our peasantry. Now, the other one came back, and we didn't give her time to escape, as we explained better this time.
Yes.
That you were a horse, you're no longer a horse. What do you want to do? And she was very upset that she was no longer a horse.
I am a female now.
And a female.
Because they were stallions.
Which
Because
is
what
a
happened was
minor...
I literally just rolled a D20 and said high or low. 1 to 10 male.
Yeah,
10 to
because the
20
rules
female,
aren't specific
on what gender
gender
comes out,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, well, let's be inclusive, and I just happened to roll high both times.
Well, good for you for making this complicated.
Yes.
So what ended up happening was I realized as a highest level druid, being level 12, I do have access to a spell called Baleful Polymorph, where I can change them into whatever I want.
So we solved the situation.
So I solved the situation 80% of the way.
Because they're still women, and they think they've always been female horses.
Well, because I changed them back into horses, but then they're still pissed off that they're women. I'm like, well, it could be worse. You could be dead. Do you want to stop complaining, maybe?
I just performed 2 minor miracles.
Yeah, and I'm like, do you want to maybe stop complaining? And in which case they did not, because Mike was very clear they were giving us the tude the whole way. And I'm like, well, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to sell them. And
Because they were now sentient.
they remember the touch of sentience. And I'm like, I'm just going to sell you and get new horses because I don't feel like dealing with this sass nonstop.
Yes.
Well, it
They're
turned
gonna
out
be the most
that
manic.
because of Baleful Polymorph and the fact that they failed the will saves for it.
Yeah, so because they failed the will saves for the Baleful Polymorph, they do not remember being women or people, and they've just always been horses, so we read the instructions wrong.
But they're sentient horses.
And now they're fine, but they're still a little bit upset about not having penises anymore.
Yes.
So
That
I'm like,
sounds
you
like
know
them,
what?
Harold.
Maybe that's the small sacrifice we all have to make
To
in
come
order
back from the dead.
to come back from the dead. You know, like maybe you
pass
could
me a
just get
paper
used
towel?
to that.
Yeah.
Just
Did
a
Devin
square.
ever tell?
Reptile?
A square of paper towel. I need to blow my nose.
So that's what our Kingmaker session was largely.
Yep.
It was me flaunting nature's rules to little to no consequence.
There you go. Yep.
That sounds about right.
Sometimes this is what happens in RPG sessions.
So,
Sometimes. Jesus, that's our Friday night.
Yeah.
it really is.
And
So-
Tom is using the
Every time he cuts his scissors, it looks so fucking bad. How you doing it, man?
Is there a better way?
Yes.
The acto knife right there.
Yeah. Literally exactly.
I'm gonna move it over to the craft side.
Okay.
This.
Okay.
So, what is everyone working on today?
I'm making a gun.
Out of
I'm
cardboard.
making
Out of
Out of
cardboard.
cardboard.
It is not a 3D printed gun because we are not horrible people.
Nor do we have access to
I
a
made a
3D
3D
printer
printed
right
gun.
now. Shut up, you.
It doesn't have a trigger that works.
There you go.
It's also the gun from Trigun.
Neat.
So you know it doesn't work like that's designed.
So that is.
Yeah, so it is. So we have
I actually
starting from,
have.
so starting from Tom, we are Tom, inspired by our Deathwatch sessions, is making a bolter, a bolt gun that I'm holding up the final designs for.
So far, this is what I've got. I started this not on the craft stream, but I figured I'd bring it in to show everyone. This is what I've got so far. So I've got the two pieces,
So
front and
we do have some questions.
Yep.
First off, Geki was asking Jordan, "Do you not like sass?"
I like sass when it's coming from me. When it's coming from others, no.
Brian is asking, "Are those Game Workshop paints I see?"
Yes, there's a lot. They're Vallejo and Games Workshop paints of
And-
many ranges.
Lord Sathian asked, "Which gun from Trigun?" To which I reply, "Vash's pistol,"
Yes. Yeah.
because that's the cool one.
Yeah. So Tom was inspired by our Deathwatch session to make a bolter.
Because
and
Tom
he's-
had never participated in Warhammer 40k material beforehand, had you?
lightly, I had very briefly failed to start the hobby as
Most people do.
painting
Most
models.
people do, yeah.
Yes, which is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I played the game a couple of times. I was vaguely familiar with the lore until we started playing Deathwatch.
Yeah.
I became a bit more familiar with it.
Yeah.
And then we played a couple of different
You were
sessions.
a tactical marine in the Imperial Fists, I believe.
You're insistent on a
No. He said
No.
if you're talking about our Deathwatch game, he is an Imperial Fist, but he's
No, I'm the tactical marine.
yeah, Mike's the tactical marine. He's an apothecary.
Apothecary.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the medic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Imperial Fists are a badass chapter to start with.
They are. They are. So Tom
All about
has
their
decided
issues,
to
but
build a bolter, so he has something a little more just get himself more immersed in the hobby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you get a better idea when someone swings a bolter into someone's skull and crushes it outright.
Yes.
You get a better idea as to why that happened.
Yeah.
Because it's 400 pounds.
Exactly. My hobby, ADD, is still in full swing, but at least I'm actually finishing stuff that I've been working on for years. I'm where there. What's that?
Thanks to this stream.
Yeah, thanks to the stream and just being cognizant of how much stuff I have going on, and never getting any of it done's a bad idea. So
I have a
I'm
question. I think mostly aimed at Devin.
yeah.
Because I know how much you've been in Games Workshop products. I think this is the one you would be best suited to answer.
Okay.
What is
Because
the
you did work for
ethical
them,
/ moral situation if you 3D print official Games Workshop minis but use their products to paint them?
Okay.
Fuck them, they charge too
it's-
much anyway.
It's
That is Dave's opinion.
That is Dave's opinion.
Not
Yeah.
D20
That
Live
is my
policy
personal
on that.
official opinion.
Here's the interesting thing. If based on my time there, you're 3D printing minis. If you're 3D printing these minis, which are Lord of the Rings, that are licensed to them, you are not... Games Workshop will not sue you, because it is the likenesses that belong to J.R. Tolkien Enterprises or House or whatever that is. So if you 3D print this and sell it, or try to sell it for commission, if it's for personal use, you can't actually argue anything. 3D printing for personal use, it's nothing. You can't actually do anything about it. But if you try and resell it or commission it, then you'll either be sued by Tolkien Enterprises or by GW because they own the likenesses of that.
So it's on the reselling. That's when it becomes piracy.
Exactly. Yeah, it becomes piracy.
But in
Or if you
of-
distribute the models.
or if you distribute the
so that
models.
someone
Yeah.
else can do so to bypass. But if you scan, I think what you're trying to say is like if you have like one, like Space Marine, and you copy them like 50 times
Yeah.
of your own accord to cut the cost.
To cut the cost.
You
Yeah,
still
it's-
bought the one.
Yeah, the more danger comes from selling I think they're called SLR files, the files to go in the 3D printer. Those have been known to actually get people jail time. Selling those things, not the act of, because it's fraud. It's fraud.
Wow.
So you get very heavy fines or fraud. Ethically, dude. Okay, if it depends on whether you're going to a tournament. Yeah, my opinion. If you're going to a tournament, you are 3D printing or proxying, but you're not going to an official tournament. If the tournament organizer says yes, then you're fine. I've had games where I'm fighting against what's supposed to be a very large chimera style model, and the dude went to Toys R Us and bought a tiny Black Panther for $2 and staple gunned it to a base, and staple gunned it to a base and brought it to a tournament. And the TL just shook his head and like, all right, asshole, go ahead. That's fine. And that counted as a model because it's a local tournament. But if you're trying to go to something run by Games Workshop for Age of Sigmar or Warhammer 40,000 or whatever else, you're probably going to be told that you can't use it. But ethically, if you're playing with your friends, who the fuck cares? If your friends are okay with it, it's fine. I've been playing most of my life, and all through university, we weren't able to always afford the latest models, so we would proxy in substitute models. I had dwarves masquerading as elves whenever I couldn't afford elf models. So you can do whatever you like ethically, but tournaments or the actual stores might have something to say otherwise. Because they're a business.
Another question for Devin. It's a question for the one who runned Mistborn RPG. Did you ever make sense of the beat mechanic? Okay.
No, it's to give context. It's essentially like initiative beats. It's just like the different steps that happen. I took it as I would any other form of initiative tracking. It didn't really make sense to me. It was trying to be more mechanically complex and just turned into being unnecessarily complex. It wasn't really worth it.
I always find it funny when a new system tries to come up with a new form of doing initiative. And I'm just like, And then I look at Pendragon, which says everything happens at the same time.
Effectively, yeah.
And because you're in mass combat all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
Or if you're all working together and your movement rate just says who goes first.
Who goes first, yeah.
And I'm like, wow, why make it more complex than that?
Yeah, it's basically everything happens on the same turn, but it becomes initiative of, because there's so few ranged weapons, it doesn't really matter who goes first and who doesn't. It's all just the swirl of melee. So your movement rate determines who happens to not so much go first, but have the reaction speed.
Yeah.
Right? It works. I love the Pendragon initiative system, and I love the Shadowrun initiative system. That is fantastic. Both of those.
Colin John Squall is talking about using 3D prints for personal use, like for their own custom models, which I assume they're using Hero Forge.
Oh yeah, whether it's Hero Forge or people just doing stuff like.
Well, Hero Forge,
D&D
you're
stuff.
Specifically buying.
Hero Forge you're buying.
You're buying the file.
Their print or the SL something file from them.
And I could see someone just
Print it
taking like an SL file from a
SLR.
what? SLR file.
He's complimenting himself.
This is the first time I've used this product. So I was like, this is
so good. Oh, Dad,
I got such a good job.
I'm rock hard
so
right now.
good.
Oh.
This matte black is the best.
So more questions. Are we excited for the new Abaddon model that has been announced?
No.
You need to take a look, Jordan, of what the GW. I love their social media right now. They are a bunch of jokers, and they understand how to be fun with their models.
Yeah.
Did
Like
get
they
in
will
trouble
actually.
recently for
What's
something?
right?
Jordan was just telling me. Oh yeah, the new Marines that are coming out. That are. Literally, someone just showed me before the chat started.
You posted.
Oh,
it
I
in our
posted
personal
the
chat.
ridiculous, the ridiculous like rootinest, tootinest, shootinest type Marines. No, Abaddon
I still got
was
that open.
leaked over the course of an entire month. All different, like 2 images of different sections of the model, and
Kind of milking it there, aren't they?
it works because it gets people excited and talking about it. And one of the members of the community on their page is like, stop fucking teasing us, just show us the whole model. And the guys from GW took all the different images, photoshopped them together into a horrific chimera type thing, and said, behold my greatness, and posted it on their thread. And it got so much love from the community that's like, all right, assholes, you want to be smart? Someone turned around and did a 3D print of that Photoshop picture.
That's why I'm scoring.
And then that's the new Abaddon model.
that's like, meet the new Abaddon model.
How many modifiers are there for adjudicating L5R's Jatsu duels? And someone says, by the way, I dug the first episode of L5R. Can't wait for episode 2.
We are filming that next weekend.
Yeah, next Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday. And then we're doing the video game stream.
Devin,
after.
the thing was called A Squad of Rudy Tooty Biggie Shooty Special Booty Marines.
Yes, those.
So, apparently, Games Workshop announced a new type of Space Marine that has repulsor boots instead of the traditional jump packs.
Yes.
And
The most intensely big assault cannon just because.
Yeah, and Tom was like, they looked down and were like, how would you hold a giant assault cannon with your repulsor boots, Tom? Tell us how they should be placed.
It's
It's
just
like, this is unrealistic. They should be leaning back more. It's like,
Unrealistic.
should they, though?
Fuck no. I just don't like the pose.
Tell us how they work.
No,
Tell us how repulsor boots
the hilarious
work,
thing is, I get where Tom's talking about where they would be shooting backwards. Well, maybe they're jump packs. Can you imagine the force of a jump pack versus on one side of you and the force of an assault cannon on the other side, and you're just stuck in the middle?
Yeah.
With you.
That's what power assisted armor's for. So you don't pancake yourself
Exactly.
inside of 5 minutes.
Oh!
Here I am, stuck in the middle.
Yeah, stuck in the middle with you. Yeah.
Clouds to the left of you, jokers to the right, fighting harlequins.
Fighting Harlequins. Yep, love it. Yeah, so I'm working on a couple of different things. I'm finishing off the old ruins because I'm trying to get multiple projects done at once. So these ruins are going to be used for Rangers of Shadowdeep, which is a skirmish war game. I need, for the first scenario, 5 or 6 small houses and or ruined houses.
So what are you doing with those right now then? Because those look pretty burnt out and gross.
Yeah.
But like, what's the next step there?
Next up, this is less further along than this, but this one I'm done basically the second shade. I've done the base color of it, and I've done the shading for it. The next step is just basically highlighting up. So I'm gonna be doing a dry brush on these bricks because Jordan's right. They don't look like they're not standing out. They look like mush right now. So I'm going to be dry brushing those bricks so they actually stand out like bricks.
I didn't say mush. I heavily
Yeah.
implied it, but I didn't say
Yeah, but
that.
it's true. And then those the cobblestones you can sort of see individually being picked out. I've got to highlight those individual stones just to make them stand out, and that's basically done.
I like, actually, you said the other one's not as far along, but I do
Yeah.
like it better because the whole, like, the deeply blackened interior makes everything look burnt out.
Oh,
Like the carbon
actually,
scoring of the fire really kind of have at her.
I need to
Whereas
actually
the other
look
one
up
looks
burned
cleaner,
bricks.
like it was rained on, like some of it's been washed away a little bit.
Well, it's interesting because we're using this for Iron Kingdoms, which is like a big artillery setting, gunpowder and magical guns. So maybe this was an
Yeah, it
artillery
looks like
bomb.
There's a bunch of dirt in it,
Yeah.
like a bunch of sand got kicked into it, and it's all burnt out.
Which one? This one here?
This
Yeah.
one, this
Yeah,
one here.
yeah.
So I
I
think
like
what
that
I
one.
might do is I might on the exterior I'll dry brush the exterior of this one the same way as I do this one, but the interior I'll do some Google searches for burnt bricks and burnt brick houses,
Yeah.
and paint it that way
So
on
you
the
have to
inside.
understand if there was like a raging fire inside that caused the house to burn down, there would be
Yeah.
carbon everywhere. So
There'd be carbon
everything would
everywhere,
be
yeah.
blackened and gross.
Yeah, it's true.
We got a
But
question.
on maybe
Yeah.
one side more.
It's true.
Are there any mutants and mastermind supplements that I should probably get if I'm running a mutants and masterminds game? I saw a supernatural supplement on Amazon for 180. No,
Whoa.
no,
No,
not
don't buy that.
price. Get the PDF.
I got the PDF for that. Did you see that? Did I show you guys the
Oh,
Monty
Invisible
Cook book?
Sun.
The
I've
Invisible
watched
Sun.
people argue
Jesus.
because Derek the Bard is arguing that that's worth the price, and I don't know how to tell him it's not for all that you get in it. And I'm like,
Say
okay,
no.
It's a
Derek, you're
PDF.
wrong.
What more do you get than that?
apparently there's like a whole bunch of ancillary files in there. But okay, let me put it to you this way: how much is the world's biggest dungeon PDF?
Yeah, that's
Like 20, 30 bucks maybe?
maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. And more than that, apparently, like there's a bunch of cards on them. Like that's great. I'm paying for a digital copy of something I have to fucking print out anyway.
Exactly. So I'm paying. So like, there's a digital copy that I need to print out. Probably need to laminate for the cards. Like if they are not planning a higher price point for a PDF makes sense if you're not planning on releasing it in hard copy ever.
Yeah.
Or providing it for a hard copy ever. A higher price point makes sense because you need to make up the production cost.
Yeah.
But if Monty Cook has ever planned, and don't get me wrong, he is one of the best designers I've ever read across multiple products.
I'm not a huge
But
fan
if-
of the Cypher system.
No?
Which I say as I'm about to play it on the 13th, which you should come check out at Scraticus Academy.
Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong camera. I pulled the Devon.
Yeah, yeah. But it's if he's ever planning on releasing a hard copy, that should be a hell of a lot cheaper. It's just not worth it. No digital file is worth that amount of money.
What would be the most you would charge for a PDF?
If it was a PDF only thing,
PDF only. I'm thinking around 50.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say like 40, 42.
But I'm thinking
yeah.
about something that's like
Yeah.
hasty, like for equivalent terms for like Fifth, that you're getting Core Player's Handbook, Game Master Guide, and Bestiary.
Exactly, a bundle sort of
with
thing,
printable tokens, and that's just one huge PDF that's indexed to balls.
Exactly, yeah. And it needs to be indexed. It needs to be hyperlinked. Like every
You need
single
to be able to pull
keyword
the art
in there.
out and
Yeah.
put it up in Roll20 and shit, right?
Exactly. Like, there needs to be a lot more added value for a printable file or for a PDF file to charge higher. It needs to be embedded. It needs to be hyperlinked. All that sort of thing. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, if you could actually click on the images and
Some
pull the
PDFs you
art
can.
files.
Some people like because I've got the I think I have the official PDF. I do have the official PDF for fucking hell, Curse of the Crimson Throne.
Yeah.
Some of the images I can pull out and pop into Roll20. And I'm like, here, this is who you met, right? And that's great. Otaku Cat just asked, "Are you a fan of the Guardsmen, and if so, which Legion?" John just asked, "Could you explain what the Guardsmen are?" John, it's the Imperial Guard from 40K, dude.
Yeah.
They're people.
I love how the chat's like, John, it's the Imperial Guard. They're literally, it's like, John, the Imperial Guard. But then again, John's more of an anime guy, so we can give him a mulligan on that.
Wow.
The people. The people that have been sent
Okay.
in the billions
Convicts.
to fight. Some of them are convicts
Some.
because there's
No one volunteers for the Guard.
That is not true.
Okay,
A lot
so-
of people do.
I have.
Why?
This was.
Certain planets have long distinguished histories of mass recruiting for the Guard. Like
Yeah.
Cadia, for example.
Yes.
Being a fortress world, it is seen as being incredibly honorable and respectful to apply for the Guard.
Yeah.
The Canadian regiments are serious fucking business
Yeah.
Yeah.
and are very good at what they do. There
Yeah.
are a lot of worlds where there's conscription.
Yeah.
So how you say, well, which is not the same as what a penal legion is,
Yeah.
where you've done some sort of minor heresy or minor crime, and instead of executing you, they feel like you would do better with your now borrowed time in declaring your life for the sole purpose of the furtherment of the Emperor's wars.
Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
for John, who doesn't know, the Imperial Guard,
Yeah.
because in the Imperial Men, the Horus Heresy happened, it was decided not a good idea to have a bunch of Space Marines sit together, and the legions were divided. In order to make up the bulwark of the military forces, was to just grab ordinary sons of bitches, maybe give them a lot of steroids if they were lucky,
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
give them
If
some of
you-
the weakest fucking
if you
weapons
were
out
good.
there, and said, you know what would solve this problem? More men that we could shoot from behind if they betray us.
The
Yes.
Wave
sad,
after
sad,
wave
sad
of
thing
9
is that
minutes.
lasgun is the best weapon that they could mass produce to that amount
Yeah.
in a short amount of time.
Yet now that they're doing
Not a
all
bad
this,
gun, just largely ineffectual.
Yeah.
I have a
Jack of
feeling.
many names, sorry.
Yeah, I actually love.
Against other people, they're real good.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, if
They
you want to
work
have
super
a
good
really
against cultists.
great, slightly comedic time with 40k, pick up the Only War from Fantasy Flight. I think they still own it. The Only
they
War.
don't own it, but it's slowly going out of print.
Slowly going out of print. Yeah, to grab the PDF for it. Only War is basically you are playing characters who are guardsmen, but you're sort of the upper echelons of a particular squad, and you not only roll up your specialization within that squad, but you roll up together what your squad is. Are you an artillery squad that has a bunch of tanks? Are you a drop troop squad that jumps out of the jets and into deep enemy territory? And it's a lot of fun because you have to take it with a little piss and vinegar where you are bare bones basic humans in this horrific universe where everything can and will eat you.
So, we got 3 questions.
Actually, I always want to point something out because there was
Sure.
something in Discord from a while back that someone sent me privately, and I'm blanking on their name, asking about paint and when they should toss their paint. Right now, with this particular one. So, I have one of my oldest paints. It's a Vallejo game color. That's the actual color. Okay, very deep, sort of sanguine red. Hence, bloody red.
And it came out that bright
And it
baby
came out
pink.
this bright pink because the binding agent and the solvent have separated so much that the solvent has turned the color and the pigment into a pink rather than a
Like a bright baby pink.
bright baby
Like a
pink.
Pepto kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like Pepto-Bismol.
It's even
So
brighter than Pepto-Bismol, I think.
because what
it is.
because what solvent does is solvent is meant to thin your paint, and make it a lighter color. But if there's too much solvent and not enough binding agent, you're gonna do that. So that red is gonna be tossed.
Womp womp.
So, first off, what's the death rate for the Imperial Guard? This one's really high.
Oh, fuck
Very
you.
high.
It depends wildly on what they're doing.
And how well they're trained, too. It could be...
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's just the commissar that gets out.
Even then, buddy, come on.
I mean, it's making me think of the.
The commissar's not 6 kilometers back. He's like 3 meters behind.
Yeah.
So whatever artillery shell's coming through the front row is going to hit him too. Like they're not immune to these things.
Second question.
They're just making damn sure that you go in one direction.
Yeah. Question is, marrying a Farseer in 40k considered major heresy or minor heresy? I believe
That's major heresy.
that's a reference to the Ultramarines and their current life choices.
Yes.
Fucking get over yourself. They're space elves. They think you're gross.
Except one of them actually, you
call
know
you
you know how
They call you monkey.
Monkey, actually.
except you know how what's his face golden
Robil Guilliman.
Robo Gulliman came back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean that he's marrying her or with her, but she
they've
played
been
a
shipped.
big role of
yeah,
bringing
that's
it back.
because.
But at the same time, she is really not an Eldar according to a lot of Eldar lore.
That's
She's an
because
Inari. She's a really screwed up.
then the
Eldar.
Eldar are getting fucking spanked left and right in the last couple of years, and they need the Imperium to get its shit together and take some of those rounds, man.
Yeah. No, the person who brought him back was a former Drukari or a Dark Eldar.
Sure.
Who became so beloved by their goddess of death that she decided, okay, the end has come. I'm going to create an avatar. Gave all of the death goddess's power to her, and then she started going to all the Eldar saying, "You are wrong. I am one person against millions of years of history, but you are all wrong, and I'll show you why."
Okay,
Yeah.
so someone who asked their question
Jesus.
earlier just asked it again. So just really quickly answer, what
Yeah,
is your
sure.
favorite Imperial Guard Legion?
Oh, I don't know, man.
I don't know enough about
Guards?
the
Oh,
Guard Legion.
I'm going to say Cadian.
Which
'cause that's the
one
safe answer.
did we do the quick session with?
Oh, that
The
you
one
were
shot.
Cadians. You were Cadians.
Cadians? Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there's,
I
there's
vote
the Death
Cadian.
Corps of Krieg.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep,
They're-
that got brought up.
They're fairly classic as well.
Yeah.
There's
I like the
So one
Mortarians.
from
They,
Fenris?
they basically are like Holy Roman Empire, not Roman Romans, but like 17th century Holy Roman Empire with bayonets and big red uniforms and
Okay,
big
first of
floofy
all,
hats.
They were neither holy nor Roman.
No Roman, no.
they, were,
There was one.
they were German.
They were German and Slavic, and
I can't
yeah.
remember the name of them. They were in this book I had that I really enjoyed them. They were dropped. They were
Elysian drop troops.
yeah, those guys. Yeah,
Actually,
those guys
yes,
are great.
they are my favorites.
Those guys are
I
great.
love the lore behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my answer.
Cool.
Final answer.
Next one is let's see here.
That's okay.
Crap.
I
Which
had to
D
pull
and
that
D
out of the
setting?
fucking-
This is why I saved it for last because I knew this one was going to take a while. What D and D settings do you think get the least love, especially stuff like Al-Qadim, Mistar, and Birthright?
Yeah.
Which one do you think gets the least love?
I would say actually Al-Qadim gets less love than Birthright because at least Birthright has a 5th edition online community that is trying to create stuff for it.
Because Al-Qadim's part of the Forgotten Realms, technically.
Yeah.
And they completely forgot it was there.
Exactly. Like it's a part of a setting that they actually give a lot of love to, and yet they're just saying no to it.
Also gives it a lot of love in their setting.
Yeah, they do. Yep. I'm running through the Pathfinder playtest and their Al-Qadim variation. Yeah.
Let's see here.
No clue.
What's the death rate?
I don't
Got
know
that
them all.
question. Iron Farseer, Minor Hesse. I like Cadians. I'm going to start playing. I'm about to start playing Rogue Trader with a group, and I'm either going to be an orc or a tech priest. We have already other players an orc.
You can be an orc
Really?
in Rogue
I
Trader.
wonder,
You can
should
be
I
an orc,
choose
yeah.
the tech priest instead?
Then an orc? God, no.
No,
It's-
no.
it's-
Be the orc.
The fucking answer to this question is clearly do both things same time. Be an orc tech priest.
be an orc tech priest. Like,
own machine spirit will work.
Yeah, you'd be what is that? A weird boy?
a weird boy. Yes.
Or no, it was
Doesn't he just
No,
have
weird
canned
boys
spray
are
paint?
their tech people.
are they the no? They're the psychers.
No, yeah, weird boys are like pain boys. Pain
medic.
pain boys are their medics.
Whatever, you get the point.
Yeah,
You can look it
yeah.
up with a simple Google search.
Yes.
Be an orc tech priest. Done.
Mech boy.
Mech
Mech boy. There you go. Thank
Don't
you,
they
Chad.
just walk around with like glue and spray paint?
Yep.
Yeah.
And belief.
Because
The most
red makes
power-
it faster, blue makes it lucky, and
Yep.
yellow makes it shoot harder.
Exactly.
Oh,
Mordaka.
Shoot better.
A
Yeah.
follow-up to the Farseer question was referring to my Rogue Trader. He's getting married to a Farseer.
Oh dear.
Well, that
Oh.
sounds like a disaster.
We've
waiting to
also a max rank Black Templar. He's okay with it.
happen. He's
that-
a shitty Black Templar. Black Templar should have the most problem with that.
Yes.
It's not only a Xenos, but it's a Xenos Psyker, and that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
But
But a rogue trader could actually legally get away with that because they are outside of every other form of
That's
imperial
cool.
law.
It's a
So,
black. It's a Black Templar.
It's a Black Templar. He should have an issue with it.
They don't
yes.
like Psychers in their own legion.
Yes.
But yeah, don't they have like a proclamation signed by the emperor himself?
The
Maybe?
High Lords. Not the Emperor, but the High Lords,
are
effectively.
that
Yeah.
pretty much rewrite what's okay.
Yep. he gets to dictate what is okay on his own ship. His
Yeah.
own ship is his own little Imperium.
So yeah, that Black Templar's got nothing to say.
Yeah,
in
and
this
that's the
matter.
problem. I think that's why the Black Templar might be okay with it,
Yeah,
because
he's
he's sitting on
okay.
the ship and he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but as soon as they get off the ship, I
He'll
mean,
shoot him.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't have them alone together off the ship.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
on the ship, really. Because it'd be like, who altered this thing?
I don't know. Okay, well, he might not be able to do anything, but being okay with it is not what he would be doing.
Yeah.
Silently seething with rage at the ceremony.
Yes.
The captain's marrying them off.
He's like, like you can hear him gurgling in the corner. Like,
Yeah, his armor's AC
Ooh.
has to kick in. just
Oh
to
man,
keep
this
him
Black...
cool.
Hang on, there's more.
He's so mad.
Said Black Templar is named Toyo Thomas Maximus.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
Neat.
Of course it is.
Yeah, sure. All right.
He's also okay with the Necron Cryptek and the Archeotech AI on board.
Are you
You're
sure you're
gonna-
not playing Warhammer Adventures?
Well, that way.
God damn.
he's gonna need to redo his chapter. I think.
yeah.
He must be so mad.
he
'Cause he's
he
not
needs to
okay.
redo himself as a Dark Angel
He needs to turn off his Vox and just scream.
every now and then.
No, it's just like, oh right, we have a Necron AI.
I mean, okay,
You
let's
just hear through his armor.
let's do it this
Just
way.
like the grip on his boulder is crumpling.
Let's do it this way. You are not wrong in your fun. Your fun is not wrong.
Your lore horribly.
Your lore is horribly wrong.
It's inaccurate.
Yeah, your lore is a little inaccurate, but your fun is not wrong.
No, if
Yeah.
you're having a good
Yeah.
time, whatever. I'm just
Yeah,
questioning.
exactly.
I'm just being annoying, but
But we're not. At no point in this conversation have we said no. This is wrong. It's like, oh,
that's an awkward.
that's an awkward dinner party.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is so true.
The reception gets real
I
weird.
hope it's a dry reception because it's gonna get bad.
Oh, man.
There's no Space Wolf, though.
Oh my god, if it was a space wolf, everyone would be dead. He wouldn't care.
No, he would not have stopped. He'd be like, Rogue Trader, whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Whoop whoop! Kill the Farseer in her sleep.
I don't play by your rules.
The Space Marine ran out of ammo before he hit the bridge because he was firing into the ceiling the whole time. He's like, whatever, I'm just going to use the butt of my gun until it breaks.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh,
Yep.
that's wild. I love that.
Oh, so yeah,
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
that
using
was
it,
all the
This is
questions.
the
Yep.
fourth time.
I did know it said that we did play an only war game. That was a lot of
it that
fun.
or not?
I do
No,
want to go
okay.
back to it. I've never played Rogue Trader.
just I need an angle
We
for
run a
that.
Deathwatch game.
Yeah.
I've ran a couple of Dark Heresy one shots.
How about if I do?
But if
I'm
I want to do
okay.
anything else, I honestly have very little interest in Rogue Trader. It's Deathwatch for me, then Dark Heresy, then only War. But it was
And
just
I'm not going to run another Deathwatch game for D20 Live. I mean, another.
well, you gotta. I was gonna say you're good. You are.
I mean, an additional in the one I'm doing.
yeah.
Here's one: Base Space Wolf versus Black Spiral Dancer in Krenos form. Who would win?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know
Black
what it is.
Spiral Dancer.
I don't know what that is.
We're gonna have to. We're going to have to
Base
look that
Space Marine.
Break out the Google.
up. Yep. Break
All
out
right,
Google.
hold on. I'll jump in. on
Yeah.
that.
Go ahead.
There's also a Tech Priest. He's a Psyker with a 98 Insanity that he can use in place of his will roll, and he has unnatural willpower. He's been the cause of many problems on the board. No shit.
Yeah, you don't say.
Wait, a Tech Priest Psyker?
Yeah.
That's.
Is that possible?
I don't think so.
Not as far as
well,
I know,
I
but it could be
mean,
wrong.
there's nothing saying no.
There's nothing saying no. Yeah.
It's just
But
highly
chances
frowned
are,
upon.
if you were a tech priest and you showed signs of psychic ability, the mechanics would have lobotomized you 1,000 times already.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, what's that? You can move shit with your brain? How about all this electricity?
Yeah.
Is
Fix
Necromunda
that.
an extension of 40k? Yes, it is. I believe it's
Yes,
just,
it is.
It's gang warfare in the big
It is
cities.
It's a hive.
It is one of the best games they've ever produced. I love Necromunda.
Necromunda's a hive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're basically a group of a gang in an underhive.
In an underhive.
That's why there's mutants and
Yeah.
but no mention of space marines or anything like that.
Yep.
Generally, I don't know.
Honestly,
Is there
to-
a sisters- Sorry, go ahead.
take a look at Necromunda Underhive, the GW's new game. It's really good. Really enjoy it. I just happen to prefer the 80s and 90s version of the game, but Necromunda Underhive
Black
is
Spiral Dancer or something.
getting a lot of love.
Darkness.
It's really good.
Isn't there a Sisters of Battle RPG book from Fantasy Flight? I believe there is.
There is Sisters of Battle rules in a Fantasy Flight, the Dark Heresy book. Like
Okay.
it's something of the Martyrs or Follow the Faith. It is a second edition Dark Heresy supplement that is all about the ecclesiarchy. It's how I built Sam's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Black Spiral Dancer is a super fancy werewolf from World of Darkness. Space Marine all day, every day.
I'm gonna say Space Marine only because I
All day,
actually know what they
every
can
day.
do.
Well, a Space because if you think because
A werewolf is still mortal.
a space wolf with its gene seed gone horribly wrong turns into a werewolf and are regularly cleansed by
Ooh.
Space Marines one-on-one.
Yeah, it's true.
Here's a question to test the lore. Which chapter has a house on Necromunda?
It's a house in that.
I want to say Dark Angels.
I'm not
Stupid
sure.
reasons.
I immediately thought of House Scryer. No, that's actually a Necromunda gang. I actually really like that gang. They're
I think
basically a
it's
bunch
Dark
of nobles who got, but they're a bunch of nobles who got bored, heard about the gangs in the Underhive, and said, "We got a bunch of tech and we got a bunch of money. Let's go down to the Underhive." And it's as if a bunch of frat boys,
Oh no, wait.
a bunch of frat boys, got bored on a May 2-4 weekend, bought a crap load of armor and high tech weaponry, and did a binger in the deepest, darkest pits of their world. Just for shits and giggles. That's
It's the
House
fists.
Scryer.
What?
It's a fist, apparently.
Oh, I forgot. Yes, Imperial Fists. They
They're
recruit
insistent on
from
Yeah.
hives. I forgot.
My gang for Necromunda is the Enforcers. Bunch of Judge Dredd dudes.
Well, yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the
Arbites. They are the Adeptus Arbites.
I got a omnibus for the Arbites recently, and I got through it, and it was pretty much Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
It was real good though.
Yeah, they are
But
my
like not
Necromunda
as,
gang. I
not
love
as
it.
wildly unreasonable, but still pretty much like you fucked up, you dead now.
I got a one of my favorite models from that range was a tech hound. It was like a pit bull, a mechanical pit bull.
Oh, look at the puppy sharp!
All right. Oh no, I was
We gotta-
wildly
we-
incorrect because Dark Angels recruit from Feral Worlds.
Yes.
Okay.
God damn,
Question for Sam,
not Death. Yeah, Death.
and then a question for the whole group, which is going to degrade to nothing in 5 seconds. But question for Sam: what social links / confidence are your favorite in P3, 4, and 5?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this is all
Did
Sam.
you want to think about that for a bit while we have
No.
our argument?
I know all the
All
answers,
Sam.
but it's just. Okay, so favorite social links / confidants in Persona 3, Aegis, Shinji. Shinji's in Persona 3 Portable. That's why, only if he plays the girl. Mitsuru, and frig, I can't remember her name, but she's the treasurer of the student council. Persona 4, Naoto, Dojima, is it Dojima?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, okay,
The
Dojima.
detective dad, right?
Yeah, the detective dad.
Yeah,
Nanako, and Marie. And then 5, Makoto, fuck, I can't remember all their names. Makoto, I'm trying to remember who else. There was another one. I can't
Which was the
remember.
other one you liked?
Mishima! That's his
Mishima.
name. Mishima. I love Mishima.
Okay. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Now I have a question that's going to destroy this entire discussion.
Okay.
Oh. What is the worst chapter? You can't just say the Ultramarines.
Oh, the
They're
worst.
not the worst chapter.
Like
They're
the
just
worst chapter
boring.
in terms of what?
Just said worst chapter.
The
So
word
your own
bearers.
criteria.
The word
Yeah,
bearers.
they're insufferable.
They caused the entire Horus heresy.
Oh well, no, they're annoying.
They caused Horus to fall.
Yeah,
The
well,
word
I mean-
bearers were the ones who corrupted Horus.
Okay, if it wasn't going to be the word bearers, it would have been something else. Chaos had their eyes on him for quite a while.
Yeah, well, they did.
The worst. Fuck, that's hard. Because, like, in terms of...
The most insufferable. The most insane.
Yeah, I'm going to need clarification on the question.
Okay.
But
It's not coming. Just give it a second.
Yeah. No, I need, like, what's the worst in terms of gameplay? What's
the
worst in
least
terms
loyal. Like
Of
you could,
lore, what's the worst in
Yeah.
terms of...
All right, let's try
actions?
gameplay and lore.
I'm gonna say that actually the Crimson Fists are the worst in terms of gameplay because those poor bastards haven't gotten anything. They are poster childs almost as much as the Ultramarines are, but they have rarely received a rules update.
Which is a shame because
Yeah.
they're fucking great. Like,
Yeah.
lore-wise. They
Yeah.
have, like, they have the book I have for them, Rin's World, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Now they might have an 8th edition one because I know GW has been bringing like going back to their old school ways of doing White Dwarf, where rules updates come in White Dwarf.
I'm going to assume that
But-
person meant Loyalist Marines,
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
Chaos Marines are a whole different bag of angry cats. But
I've never even heard of the Crimson Fists.
they're a successor chapter from the Imperial Fists. They do like a navy blue with one red hand.
Oh,
on their shoulder pads.
And-
Yeah,
and
you
that-
see them on a lot of
of
40k
stuff.
lore.
A lot of
They
stuff.
have no
I just thought
rules.
They were Ultramarines.
No, they're very, very different. Look very similar, but very different.
As
Um,
Mike said, as in like. Was...
No, for like worst period. I think he meant worst period or
Ah.
worst in terms of how I specified.
Okay, cool. Yeah, how you specified. Yeah.
Um,
Very cool. The bricks have been dry brushed. They're looking like actual.
honestly, man, I don't like Dark Angels. I think they're real shit. I think they
yeah.
get given a lot of stuff for someone who doesn't participate in the Imperium as a whole.
Yeah.
I popped the nail.
I loved Dark Angels for a very long time until I discovered the salamanders.
Yeah,
It was just that I loved I love the fact that they have a strong Arthurian theme, but they really haven't done anything with it, and they've started taking the Dark Angels away from this noble but really flawed Arthurian knight in a space opera to they're just secretive assholes who don't want to work with anyone because they think that they're the best.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no,
Someone
I
just
have.
went, boo, lines for life.
I mean,
Sorry, dude.
if-
It's just I loved Dark Angels for a long time.
Then apparently their Primarch is still alive, just brooding in their fucking.
No, he's on life
No,
support.
he's Arthur. He's on life support. He's in the very base of the rock, and he's on life support.
Yeah,
and-
both him and his trader are both
Yes,
down there.
exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the trader guy is still
Yeah.
very
Okay.
much alive.
I bought a
But
peel off
yeah,
face
no, they
pack,
did
so my nail
basic-
polish is
Sorry.
my nail polish was coming off, so one of them popped off.
Oh no!
So I'm just gonna peel them off now.
She has a peel-off base coat that lets her peel off the nail polish from her paints, and one just literally pops right off.
Oh no!
Anyway, continue, Jordan.
Cool.
That's fun.
So yeah, I didn't know about that part, but
Yeah, no, it's that Lionel Johnson is in the base of the rock, and they have a very. It's basically taken from the Geoffrey Monmouth's whole passage from Arthur of like when he is needed most, he shall verily rise from the
Kinda
Isle
late
of
for that,
Avalon.
isn't it?
What's that?
Kind of fucking late for that, isn't it?
Yeah, no. So so they rewrote that as basically saying Lionel Johnson will rise when the Imperium needs him most, very much an Arthurian.
yeah, but not yet though.
No,
But not
It's
yet.
only been cut in half.
You know,
by
I was like
Warpstorm.
the entire
See,
Imperium has
half by
been
Warp Storm. The Emperor
most of the
was
most
dethroned
of
as
your
the religious figurehead.
yeah.
He still didn't show up.
Oh God.
And it's not like he shows up occasionally like the Sanguinator
Yes.
or anything like that,
Yeah,
right?
No.
Hang on.
His dark brothers are back. Like two of the evil Primarchs are back, but that didn't make him show up.
No.
I'm like, really?
You
Okay.
think he could have shown up when Gilliman did? Nope, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's down there.
Everyone's expecting Russ to show up soon. Just
Actually,
opposite.
to answer your question, Giacometti names, it's confirmed that it's going to be Rogel Dorn who's next. They're
Dorn.
yeah, Rogel Dorn is the next
What?
Primarch to come back.
Didn't he die?
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
He vanished. They found his hand,
Oh, that's not much.
and that's it. That's all they ever found of him.
Okay. Let's see here.
I do not know what either. I love Chaosium, but I have not heard Jack of either of those systems. Like the Elric, is that like what's his name? Elric of the white-haired demon prince, sacred sword, like that Elric.
We
For
got
the
one.
books?
We got one from YouTube. Let's see here. Favorite Primarch. Sanagunius, because perfection knows no limits.
Kurz is a good choice. Conrad Kurz is a good choice.
Mm.
I think the Night Lords are a deeply flawed chapter,
Yeah.
but have only ever really descended to chaos out of requirement.
I did,
They
Yeah.
never, a lot of them never really fell to chaos. They just
No.
became renegades.
they became renegades, yeah,
Um,
because they were caught in a really bad situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's genuinely tragic, their situation.
Yeah.
Some of them did fall to chaos as a fuck, may as well.
Yep, exactly.
Because we're being painted with that brush, I may as well jump in.
Yep.
But then a lot of them were like, no, we won't fall. Fuck the Imperium, but we're
Yep.
not falling to chaos because we threw away one master while I take on another.
Yeah. I like my favorite, like Kurz is a good Primarch. I really love the lore of Alfarion and the Alpha Legion. He
Yeah.
also, they didn't fall. They became so, they're like James Bond. They became so deeply entrenched in chaos because they're trying to spy and bring back information for the Imperium that
I have a book from them where they actually still fight for the Emperor,
yeah,
but they have to deal with chaos as a necessary
as a
evil.
necessary evil.
So, a
it's,
lot of
it's neat.
a lot of the Alpha Legion warbands never actually went traitor. They
Nope.
just went deep.
Really
deep cover.
Exactly. It's so deep cover that
They participated in the Isfin 5 drop massacre.
Yeah.
And then whatever. But
Yeah.
then okay, so honestly, best Primarch. I've never been a fan of the Ultramarines, but I think Gilliman is probably one of the coolest Primarchs by far.
Okay, we got way more questions that came in while you guys were asking
Okay.
that one. So, why are the Grey Knights so OP? Matt Ward isn't.
Why are the Grey Knights OP? Because they have to be.
They have to be. They were the secret project. Were rumored to be the secret project that the Emperor said, if we're not winning this crusade, I need to go over here back to Earth and work on something. And after the Emperor disappeared, the Grey Knights appeared. So
Then it
everyone
turned out that
believes
wasn't the case.
it didn't turn out that wasn't the case. But they are rumored to be the secret project that he was working on. That they are the best of even the Marines.
Every one of them's a psyker.
Yeah, everyone's a psyker.
They think that their gene seed is technically from the Emperor.
The Emperor himself.
Not a Primarch itself.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
it's-
why every one of them's a psyker, and if they weren't a psyker to start off with, they become one.
They become one. Yep. So it's,
Um,
I really love the grenades.
Fiona McCool versus Arthur. Which king under the mountain wins in a battle?
Finn McCool because he's got a restaurant.
Done.
Bloomin' Onion.
Bloomin' Onion.
Sold.
Cool.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Arthur. How many of you have tried RPG in a box board game?
Way too
Like-
many, and I
Like Descent in
painted.
Gloomhaven and such. We've all played Descent at some point.
Yes,
Yep.
Yep.
Very good.
I love Descent. I collect
Except for
Descent.
Sam, which we have to.
We gotta fix that.
Everyone keeps telling me I need to be fixed about things.
No, it's okay. We don't mean
Just
it that way.
introduce.
It's just introduced to it.
There's a lot of stuff we haven't introduced you to.
Yeah.
By virtue of just being a part of this
Yeah.
group.
I play Vanessa and I play Mansions of Madness all the time, and that's a Cthulhu style RPG in a
Oh
box.
man, Mansions is so good.
It's such a good game.
it's such a. The atmosphere is just so fantastic.
And
Yeah,
with,
they do such a
with
great.
the tech aspect of it too, because there's an app for
There's
it.
an
too.
app for
That's,
it?
that's
which is
why.
cool,
That's
yeah.
why that there's
So great.
In fact,
the app
the-
makes the game.
Yeah, in fact, the app was tested in Descent. You can play single player version of Descent by playing against the app.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's a really cool stuff.
like
Gloomhaven, I've played the intro scenario for. A friend
How
of
is that?
I really enjoy the potential of Gloomhaven. Rishi and I are playing it next weekend, along with a few others. And I warned him when we were out for dinner last night. I said, just fair warning. It takes longer because there's the intro scenario that teaches you the mechanics, and then you actually start the campaign.
Yeah.
So the intro scenario is not actually a normal game. But I timed it because I was curious. It takes longer to open the box, punch out all the stuff, get all the cards ready, get set up, than it does to actually play the intro scenario.
That's
It takes longer to go from bare box
Shit, that's a heavy one.
to set up versus intro scenario. It's actually,
What do you
but
think the
I love
deal is
Gloomhaven.
with Cypher?
I don't know who that is.
Cypher is so when Lionel Johnson died, there were very few people who were actually on the Rock. He was a loyalist during the Horus Heresy, but when Lionel Johnson was wounded, he took Excalibur. So the Excalibur style sword in 40k, and he is now carrying Excalibur on his back and is going around killing all the fallen angels, all the fallen dark angels. But he himself, like Deep Cover, it's believed that he might have become a fallen angel himself and is really just, there's two threads to it. One, he's killing the fallen angels as vengeance for killing for the fall, or he has become a fallen angel himself and is really just killing off all of his competition.
I thought Lionel's sword was being held by the Chapter Master. What the hell's the sword the Chapter Master has?
Oh, it's a
sword.
very fancy fucking sword.
It's a very sword. I think it's
So it's
actually
not the sword.
I think it's actually meant to be like the Lancelot sword because there is a
It's a very fancy
yeah.
sword, but it's not the sword.
No.
Okay.
Cypher's a whole stream in and of itself.
He's hilarious. He has twin plasma pistols that are kind of like a Matra that he uses in a very
One plasma
Matrix
pistol,
style
one
thing.
bolt pistol.
A bolt pistol. Yeah, it's great.
He actually helped with the Indominus Crusade.
Yep.
With Gilliman.
Yeah.
He talked Gilliman into bringing him along, which is a feat in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Demanded access to the Emperor when Gilliman told him to go get fucked.
Yes.
He stormed off in a huff
Yep.
and hasn't been seen since.
Yes. Yep.
Why do you
okay.
want access to the Emperor? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Yep.
What do you guys want to happen if the Emperor of Mankind was to fully and instantly be healed? I think we're going to answer that in D20 Live in April.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Your version.
Your version of it, but I like
gonna be
it.
awesome.
Your highly heretical version of what happens.
I got to command a Titan, sir.
Highly heretical.
What was that? The Emperor's personal.
The Emperor's
Titan?
personal Titan. I was like,
I had like a minor seizure. When that was
I know, that was great.
I was trying to ask you the question whether or not it even existed
No.
beforehand. You're like, I mean, theoretically.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cool, that's all
maybe.
I need.
Yeah, other
maybe.
things that we are working on. So I've got my ruins.
Yes, let's
The,
recap.
yeah, there's that. There is also, because to finish off that
Tom's
question,
been a busy beaver.
he has, so he's working on that. I'm also working on some bits and pieces for D&D. We have a Pathfinder playtest game coming up, so I am doing treasure piles, treasure chests. Right. I am doing braziers that actually have really neat clear plastic acrylic for the flame that you can actually paint with glaze to get an effect. Tables, book piles, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Dungeon dressing.
Oh, Jack.
So, question for Sam. Have you been
What
playing
I've
more Fire
done-
Emblem?
Is
I
I've
have
created.
To finish.
Oh, sorry.
Hang on. I'm gonna finish. Let Tom finish doing his
Yeah.
thing.
Sure. So
Tom's been a busy guy.
yeah, created this. So started with this piece, but needed something for a grip and heat exhaust. So, there we go.
Nice.
That's good.
That part, and
That
of
looks
course,
good.
to make it all pop.
Little more. There.
Oh yeah, that comes back though.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
handle comes way back.
Yeah.
But I love the heat exhaust here.
Yeah.
That's really
So
nice.
it
It
of
looks a
them.
lot
That
like
was pretty
a
good.
pla- it looks more like a
I do
plasma
need a
pistol.
barrel, but I'm thinking either a TP roll or I could use one of those really thin pop cans.
Yeah.
Like a smaller size
with
pop.
the
Smaller
smaller
size
size,
pop,
the mini, those 100 calorie serving size crap ones.
Yeah.
So
Yep. It works. All right. Fire Emblem.
what are they? A
Sam,
mouthful?
They've been playing more Fire Emblem.
I just need to finish up with which one was it? Awakening, and
Yeah.
then I'm gonna move on to Fates because we finally
We
got.
finally got both games.
Yeah, we finally got.
Sam,
both
I have never played Fire Emblem. Where do I start?
games. Awakening
You look
Where
so
is Fire Emblem Awakening? What's
on the
this
3DS?
on
On
the
the
3DS.
3DS? I actually think I might have that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
3DS emulator.
That's-
Yes.
that's like it's
What?
it's one.
Nobody
It's,
admits
there's
to
an easy
piracy
mode.
on the stream.
That is a personal choice. It is not a D20 live choice.
D20 Live does not endorse it.
piracy. We've had this talk, Tom.
So yeah, Awakening is actually I
All right.
think one
Do
of
not, do not pirate. All right. Mostly because the 3DS emulators are a piece of shit.
Do not pirate from our advice.
Yes.
Yeah.
If
All
you
right,
want
he
to
said-
pirate, follow your own advice.
We
You
do
say
not
don't do it,
condone-
but whatever. We're not your dad, so.
yeah,
We do
Awakening.
not condone piracy of any kind. Wink.
So Sam, what? Stop it. Stop it.
Especially do not pirate RPG materials
Yes.
of any kind.
Yep.
Buy the PDFs.
Wink.
Drive-through
No,
RPG is
seriously,
a
no.
very good system. Yeah. And support the creators.
Yeah.
Sam, why should I start with Awakening?
Awakening one has easy mode, so that way your characters don't die. Because the thing is,
Right.
the thing that about Awakening is that when you
Well, Fire
when
Emblem.
Fire Emblem, sorry, when the thing about Fire Emblem is that when you play with your team, because you'll have a team of characters, they will die.
Oh.
So Awakening has easy mode, so that way they don't die. So that way you can get more into the story and be like, oh, okay, and then you can play it again on harder mode.
On
and
harder
be
mode to
like,
challenge yourself.
yeah,
Okay.
so you know how to do it, right?
Right. Okay.
Also, the story for Awakening is actually really interesting because
Neat.
it involves a lot of time travel.
Oh, cool. All right.
Ooh, that's a
Because
choice.
Fire Emblem is apparently coming out for the Switch, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of my buddies is really excited about it, and I've realized, you know what? Of all the JRPG stuff, I have not touched Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I know. I
That-
didn't
yeah.
either. And then Mike said, "Get this one. It's shipping the game." And I'm like, "Oh, damn."
Because you will actually have your characters pair up and their stats will reflect into the next generation.
No way.
And
You
they will
literally-
come in.
You get your
Yeah.
kids. You get their kids. Their kids will come out, and you'll be like, "Yeah, I get to play with my kids now."
Oh, cool.
It's
Neat.
so cool.
Okay,
That's
so
cool.
are there Grey Knights in Death Watch?
There are Grey Knight rules in Death Watch, yes.
Cool.
There was a supplement,
how's the
right?
Bolter coming along? We answered that. Call
Yep.
of Cthulhu versus Chaos. Any thoughts? Chaos.
In respect to what?
Power.
They're totally different. Oh, Chaos. Yeah, it's
Actually, they weren't specific. So.
yeah.
I would say Call of Cthulhu for the sheer sinisterness of it
Yeah.
and how easily it integrates itself into everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chaos is a little bit more flash and bang than
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu is.
It's
so.
I like that you can do really like similar terrible horror from both. That's why I want to run a Dark Heresy game, because I want you guys to be scared. In Death Watch, that's an antagonist that I can beat, but it's hard, and it creates it that way. But in Dark Heresy, you can create some screwed up stuff
Oh,
for
yeah.
Chaos.
What happens in 40k if the Emperor dies, considering he's the thing that lets the warp travel for humanity to happen? Humanity's
sort of-
fucked.
Well, it's already sort of happened.
depends.
It's already sort of happened where, because of the rent across the Imperium right now,
Yeah.
the Emperor's psychic Astronomicon, the path that allows him to go through the warp, it can't reach half the Imperium.
Oh.
The warp
That's
rift is
the
cut
problem.
off. So you have things like the Blood Angels' homeworld can't be reached by humanity anymore. So the Blood Angels are in a bad way
Oh
because
no, the Blood
yeah.
Angels got fucked. That's never happened before.
Well, and a lot of other chapters.
I
It's
know.
just yeah.
it's just
but,
a day for us.
So it's over half the Imperium can't be reached by warp travel anymore.
Isn't the
Now we're
Ultramarines
all
one of
like,
those as well?
"Oh man, you're really
No, they're in the
really bad
bottom-
at not
they're in the
playing
bottom right.
Permadeath and Fire
They're
Emblem."
fine.
And I'm like,
I don't know.
but
I think they're
I'd have to
alright.
check that out. Listen, it just happened. We've not had a chance to absorb the encyclopedic lore that was released for the.
Yeah, there's
It's
so much
almost
is-
like something really big's going to happen at the end of D20 Live's first story arc that really feeds well into that.
Nice.
Okay.
It's almost like my Death Watch game is also feeding into that.
Look, my point is that there's two lines of thought. The Emperor dies, it puts a giant reset button on the Imperium. He comes back stronger than ever, everyone, and then beats the shit out of Chaos.
Yeah.
Another one is that the Emperor just straight up dies, and that'll be that. and Gilliman has to try his best. The Emperor is considered to be a perpetual. What that means is that he's literally immortal. The fact that he hasn't been able to recover from being so sorely wounded is because Dorn popped him into the throne literally immediately.
Yeah.
Thinking that the Emperor was just going to die.
Yeah.
And so because most of his energy has been channeled into being the Astronomicon,
he hasn't been
he
able to
hasn't been
recover?
able to regenerate or reincarnate himself.
Interesting. Huh.
So they're thinking if they rip him out of there, he might just pop back to life hunky dory, but they're not willing to do that on the very low off chance the Emperor just straight up dies.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
Interesting.
everyone's fucked instead of just half of everyone being
Yes,
fucked.
exactly.
Whereas Archer says the collective hangover might kill him.
Yes. A collective hangover. The cumulative
Do they
hangover may
sell
kill him.
Of being the
PDFs
Astronomicon.
of any of the Warhammer RPGs?
Yes, they do. Fantasy Flight. Wait. Sorry. Do you mean fantasy or 40K?
Fantasy, I think.
If it's fantasy, you need to go to Drive Through RPG's Cubicle 7. Cubicle 7 is a British company that just released 4th edition, and they're a fantastic group of designers, really passionate. They have all the Warhammer Fantasy stuff, and then Fantasy Flight still has all of the old 40K ones.
Let's see here.
You've got this one. What's the make on the chest mini? I think that's Devin's thing.
What, sorry?
What's the make on the chest mini? What'd you get?
What do you mean by make?
Where'd it come from?
Oh, those are
Where did it go?
the new... both Paizo and Wizards have a brand. I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
I don't know.
Dump out his water.
Yeah.
No permadeath and Fire Emblem Heresy. Future Children's thing's going to continue with other games. Shout out to the Lamenters chapter.
Thanks. One of them is here. You just it was a secret.
The Emperor versus Vector Prime. Who wins?
I don't know what Vector Prime is.
Is it?
Is that a Transformer?
If it's Transformer, then we're gonna have a really interesting argument in about 5 seconds.
Vector Prime, a Transformer.
Because Vector
Well,
Prime.
I
turns into
seriously
a
doubt it's a
dot car?
Transformer because you don't know what that is.
No,
No,
because
he
there is a
does.
Vector Prime Transformer.
Oh.
I know that. I have his fucking toy upstairs.
I'm sure you did.
I do. But the reason why
His
this question
private
doesn't make sense is
reserve.
because Vector Prime's a time traveler,
Oh.
right? It would make more sense if it was Prima, because Prima was the leader of the Primarchs. Sorry,
See-
not Primarchs. The Primes.
Yeah.
I'm going to get confused on this, but he's not technically equivalent to the Emperor. That was Primus, but Primus is a god. So, because the equivalent to the Emperor for 40K is Primus, the god who fights Unicron, and they exist in... Because
the one
Primus
who
is the
sees.
incarnation of creation and building and construction,
Sure.
and Unicron is the personification of entropy
Right.
and destruction and wrath.
Yeah.
So the equivalent, and the thing was, Primus, the only way he could beat Unicron, because they were so evenly matched, was to make 13 primes. Right?
Okay.
Because the idea was they were something new that Unicron couldn't account for. Right? And each one has a different power that when they worked together, they basically ripped Unicron apart. Okay?
You got the touch.
Now, the Emperor made his Primarchs by equivalency, right?
Okay.
The Emperor made the Primarchs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Waves
really,
at me.
we're comparing the Emperor to the equivalent, which is Primus, which is the Emperor versus a giant, godlike, all-creating planet.
And Primus is also a pretty interesting band
Yes.
that did Winona's
So-
Big Brown Reaver.
They're asking... So it's like saying
Dave.
who wins the... Do you get the question I'm going
And
to here?
detachable penis.
Yeah. Well,
It's
yours
not
is
an
a
equivalent.
Planet, so I'm going to go with the planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a giant, psychic, super powerful planet.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the planet.
Yeah. But they're asking who would win, Vector Prime, the time-traveling giant transformer, or the Emperor of Mankind?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Right. Why does the internet ask these questions?
we'll do it.
Yeah.
Who is the Galvatron of 40K? Okay, who is a bad guy got taken over by Abaddon?
Yes.
Done.
It's
Done.
Abaddon.
To answer the previous
Pathetic
question,
constantly loses and is now a slave eternally. Abaddon, yeah.
to answer the previous question, so we have you're looking for from Wizards of the Coast. You're looking for WizKids. WizKids actually makes this stuff, and it's really good quality, unlike their crappy third ed WizKid stuff. And then there's another brand from Paizo called Deep Cuts, and basically it's the WizKids brands or the Deep Cuts Paizo brands, and they make both. They're all pre-primed miniature, either dungeon decor or just miniatures in general.
So yeah, Jordan, let's see if we can answer this question between my lore and yours. Like, how powerful is the Emperor, actually?
He's on par with the Chaos God.
Okay, so that's pretty...
Several, maybe. It's
Okay.
hard to say. No one really knows. That's a tough question.
And the same thing, no one really knows how strong Vector Prime is, because in theory he could bring in, like, a legion of himself.
I feel like this is
From
kind
different
of like
points of
an
time.
unstoppable force versus a movable object
Yeah,
sort of
I
question
kinda
that'll
do.
never end up being answered.
Because in theory, just Vector Prime could go back in time and just try and punch the Emperor as a baby. Which would really just piss off the Emperor as a baby, but still.
Well, I mean, the Emperor was born like in the BC era,
Yeah, he's gone back that far.
so
He can
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. That was an impossible question to answer.
All of the Warhammer RPGs are available. Ulysses Spiel has 40k PDFs right now.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I hadn't been tracking them.
Which one? What do you guys think the Emperor feels about his empire changing over time since he's been in the chair? I believe there's a YouTube channel called
No.
The Emperor's Text-to-Speech that answers that question.
There's a question about that.
What's the question about that?
It was about what's the best Warhammer video game?
Space Marine.
Space Marine, 100%.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, so it's
Other than
so,
Total War.
He's
Dawn
played Dawn
of War. Those are the
No,
two good franchises.
Dawn of
I
War
like
is
Dawn
a
of
good
Total
war game,
War's good.
Yeah.
but
Total
in
War
terms
for
of the
fantasy.
flavor of the world and
Yeah,
and
Space
Space Marine,
Space Marine captures
Space Marine. So that's the action.
Action. It's the action adventure.
Yeah,
it's
it's,
not
the
an
action,
RPG.
it's the action adventure. Yeah, not an RPG. It's the action adventure game. It's a hack and slash. You're running through the scenario as a Space Marine. It is phenomenal in terms of the game.
Yeah.
You get a real sense of what the world is like, who all the players are.
How many skulls are just flying around?
That too.
Um,
No, it does a
Lord
great
Jesus Christ
job.
is now hosting us. Thank you,
Thank you, Lord
Jesus.
Jesus.
That's for the host?
Yeah, the hosting.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just reading back. I think it's bottom latest, but it's top latest, right?
Okay, stop this.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say, thank you, John Palmer, for...
Lord Sathian is asking me a question. I thought that Vector Prime was a multiversal constant like the Fallen or heck DC's Darkseid. Did they recommend that idea? Yes, Lord Sathian, they did. Because it used to be that the Transformers 13 Primes, there was only one of them, and they just kept showing up in every different continuity. Like Unicron, but then they said, no, that's way too complicated. Just every universe has their own version. Now the idea of the multiversal constant is this person just keeps showing up in different versions. How would Q from Star Trek be seen by the Imperium, and would it be the equivalent to introducing a foreign virus to an indigenous people if Q came to 40k?
That would be awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly how I would put it.
I can hear Tyler screaming that he couldn't be here to answer that question.
I know, right? Poor Tyler. Yep.
Q can snap his fingers and shift planets.
Yeah.
And,
The Chaos would try to get him.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They would try to recruit him.
But could they?
That's a good question.
Well-
would they have a good enough offer?
Yeah.
because it's what
Q.
what would be the most entertaining to me.
I think he would just make the Chaos
Because he
gods.
wants for nothing but entertainment.
Yep.
The thing is, I could just see
For the most
Q,
Yeah.
literally, the Horse Heresy being Q's fault. He's like, you know what this needs? Chaos gods. Pop, pop, pop. Pop. Yeah, 4. Just
Pop, pop, pop. Pop.
Yeah, that's Tzinch.
Is that one corn?
That's Tzinch, actually. And then you
Okay.
just booked it. The other thing again, Dave. Intriguing. I wish to see it happen in D20 Live. We'll see.
What was that? Sorry.
Q showing up in 40k.
Oh,
Dear
hilarious.
God.
I'm more inclined to canonically say that he had something to do with the Horus Heresy,
Eh,
and kind of because the Chaos Gods is supposed to be huge, right? Like
Yeah.
massive beyond the measure of existence.
yes.
How would they even notice the Imperial Man was happening unless someone said, "You know, what'd be funny? These guys,
Yep.
right here."
It's because chaos gods can sense anything that is an antithesis to them, anything that feeds them. So because they are a creation of humanity itself and the
Yeah.
Imperium itself, they know exactly where the Imperium is and what created them, and they just want to attack them in order to create more of that which feeds them. It's
Okay, here we go. Are you guys aware that there are conversion rules for converting 40k RPG characters to mate? Yes.
to maid.
Yes. Yes,
I was not aware of that.
I do, and it's gonna be great when I do it.
Oh my
You
god.
do it. I thought I was doing made.
You can, well, I'm gonna do the crossover.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know. We haven't worked that out yet. That's the next story arc.
The 40k Space Marines as maids.
Just the crossover.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. That's pretty funny. I like it. Oh, all these cobblestones are getting so difficult.
Yeah.
or more tedious rather than difficult, is actually fairly easy to do. See?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
for cutting off the conversations every so often, but I do want to be able to answer the fans' questions.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
matters.
all we're really doing here is just working on the crap.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
So
Right.
like it's something that can be done fairly easily
Yep.
while answering questions.
Yeah, exactly. There.
But yeah, no. It's kind of funny because last time wait there. Oh, yeah, okay. No, because last time my entire plan was to keep working on my own tabletop RPG during this, and that hasn't. And I was going to do that again this time, and I'm just moderating again.
Just moderating it again? Yep. What were you working to? What were you like? What aspects of your RPG were you working on last time?
Well, have I told you what I was working on?
You told me you're doing RPG work. I'm doing cobblestones. So much tedium. A lot of different things. Tom's making a bolter. Tom showed
sure.
Tech
So-
2743 or bolter.
Many different pieces. So got the handle. Got the two different pieces
Yep.
that come together like so.
Yep.
And then this part connects into about here.
And then we got an exhaust port.
And then we've got some exhaust happening here. Now, obviously, what's this missing? A mag.
Yes.
That's what I'm working on now.
Because the mag needs to make it look even deeper and
Even
more
more
ridiculous.
ridiculous than it actually is right now.
I'm working on ruins, continuing to finish projects. So my ruins are coming along. The exterior bricks are done. The cobblestones are being worked on. I am painting whatever I feel like the difference between. I'm working on zombies. I'm working on little braziers for and dungeon decor, treasure piles, treasure chests.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I am writing a prequel to the 5e Curse of Strahd as a one-off.
Nice.
It's my first time GMing. Do you have any advice? I would love to know how you're supposed to prequel Strahd's story without going back to the day Strahd was made.
Well, are you doing who is Mythic? Are you doing a prequel as in prequel to
Them
before they got there, like the lead up to how they go into Barovia, or are you doing a prequel of like how Strahd conquered the Valley of Barovia before he made his deal?
Shit. No.
Yeah.
Got it. You're safe.
What's your favorite Xenos race and why?
Xenos race?
Yeah.
Eldar. Craft World Eldar. But that's just me.
Orc.
Orc.
I mean, soccer hooligans. Come on.
Yeah.
Jordan, what's your favorite Xenos race? You okay?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Do you need a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Where is
like
my
the
phone?
Necrons.
The Necrons?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Trazen. He's a mad fuck.
40
40k plus made. Codex Desu Mado. Should you be ashamed of yourself, Lord Sathian?
Yep.
I do wonder who'd win, maids or 40k. I personally say maids because of how fast things can escalate to maid, to which the reply was, escalate if you met the Imperium.
Yes.
Let's
Take a look.
see here.
Cobblestones.
Who
So
eats who? Tyranids or Zerg? Tyranids.
Tyranids are infinitely more scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they
Zerg were dumbed down to fit in with the whole Terran race.
Yeah. But like, the Nids just evolve faster.
Well, it's also
they're-
the
they're
Zerg don't really
bigger.
adapt. They don't. They don't
They don't.
take. They don't create.
They do, but it's on such a large scale. It takes
Tyranids
centuries.
are like take the Zerg and then mix in xenomorphs and then like so many other more
Fucking
horrifying things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Tyranids are xenomorphs on the finest of Colombian cocaine. Like they're just so much worse than even xenomorphs are.
Yeah.
Like I do agree with the argument that Tyranids got way more interesting in their design when the Zerg came into being.
Well, they kind of
Because they started incorporating a lot more bioorganic design into
yes,
it.
yes.
Which I will
They moved away
concede.
from Geiger and went towards more the included in the body
Yeah.
design.
Which I
Yeah.
think was a good way to go with that. But at the same time, like the Nids just evolve faster.
Well, lore-wise, yes, but at the same time,
Because the Imperium keeps evolving faster, so it gives them more things to eat.
Have the Nids done anything to the cow yet?
No.
No, not yet.
That's weird.
the tower on the very edge of the galaxy. That's why they weren't discovered for a very long time.
Yeah.
The Tyranids have been gunning for Earth basically.
Yeah.
Like it's on fire and they need the last marshmallow.
I love
Like
that.
they are gunning for it because all he senses is the Astronomicon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all they can see. And so they're gunning. It's like moth to a flame. Like they're going for the light. Whereas the Tau are not psychic beings whatsoever. So they're like, whatever, just ignore it.
Yeah. I'm still disappointed we don't have more orc. I know the orc and the Nids are still fighting constantly.
There's actually a lot of orc stuff. They just don't go into a lot of the detail in the lore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Like,
I know the
orcs
orcs
are very much a thing.
Yeah, the orcs. That's why like you firebomb a planet if there's orcs, you destroy all living things because
Even that might not work.
an orc. Yeah, because an orc body basically becomes the next generation of orcs.
Yeah.
So you don't leave an orc body at all.
You get infestations
yeah.
with generations because they spread through myopic spores.
Yeah. So they're basically spores that grow into sentient beings.
You know,
Nice.
I know there's no way. I know it's basically the same story a million times, but I would love to see at least one story showing the fight between orcs and Tyranids.
I'm sure they have at this point.
I know.
mean,
No one talks about it.
Mythic, I would look at the 3rd edition Sword and Sorcery books because they detail everything outside
Just something
of
squishy to fight.
Ravenloft. They detail Ravenloft as a setting and move outside of Barovia to every other Dread Realm and Domain of Dread. It's an honestly really good inspiration for, hey, let's be a Ravenloft style of adventure before Strahd comes about. That's going to be a great source. All the Sword and Sorcery 3rd edition stuff.
There is a story in 40k about an orc war boss going to the warp, time traveling to the point before he warp traveled, then killed himself to get a second copy of his favorite gun. Yeah, that sounds like a thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that sounds like a thing an orc would do.
Say it one more time.
There's a story in 40k about an orc war boss going into the warp, time traveling to the point before he warp traveled, then killed himself to get a second copy of his favorite gun. Yeah, that sounds like an orc.
That sounds orky enough.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
orc.
yeah,
That's orc.
I'm so orky, I orkied myself. Fucking yeah, that's point.
That's
I
on
went on
point.
a personal war against myself.
honestly,
I learned more about myself. I've got no guts.
honestly, a war between the orcs and the Tyranids would be like you get a blender, put in a bunch of spinach and raspberries in it, and then hit power blend. Like that's what that would look like.
Yes, exactly.
I like to think like there's this one planet that they're still fighting over, just the orcs and the Nids, and it's like
There's like no point to it, but
they just keep fighting, and it's like
Good fight.
like who has control over what sector changes from day to day, and every so often,
Yeah,
just
it's
like a
called
bunch
Dawn
of
of
Space
War.
Marines go there. It's like if you last 5 minutes, you're a chapter
You-
master.
You become part of the Death Watch.
Yeah, you can part of the Death Watch.
That'd be a hilarious way to start a Death Watch session.
So it's like
Look at this impossible situation. 20 of you go in, and it's like something out of the
whoever
Hunger
comes
Games.
back-
No, homie, the answer to that problem is a cyclonic torpedo.
Can you imagine a Hunger Games style thing? Like,
Yeah.
look at this impossible situation.
You ever
You
seen
go
Torpedo
in,
Made of Fire?
the last 4 people
Yes.
become Death Watch.
Yeah,
it's scary.
Imagine that covering an entire
it's not even.
planet.
You're not even betraying each other. It's just getting to the jump out.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
a jump ship at this point. Now delete the record of it because if they find out where that ship is,
It's a problem. But
we're all fucked.
all fucked. But whoever the last 4 people in this battle royale
Yeah.
get to be Death Watch.
Tom's gonna end up cutting off his fingers.
I'm being very careful about that.
He's got 10 of them.
Yeah.
He's got spares.
He's got lots of extras.
Yeah.
You don't
He's
need
a
the
thought-
last 3.
He's a father now. You know, every mistake he makes just teaches his son something new.
It's true. Yeah.
All
There
right,
you go.
son. I came back with 1 finger less. What did we
think-
learn?
I think
That's reckless.
That's right.
I think lore-wise, after the sudden withdrawal of Ultramarines from the Tau First Contact War, High Fleet Behemoth said hello to, and the Tau suddenly realized how screwed they were.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, if the Tau
Dude, there's-
fought High Fleet Behemoth, it was just, oh well, there's no more
There's
Tau.
so much lore in 40k, it's literally impossible to keep a track of all of it.
Yeah.
Tyranids versus Slivers from Magic the Gathering. We've had this discussion. actually.
Slivers, they're bullshit. Yes, Tyranids have physical limits. Slivers are pure bullshit.
Yeah.
They are made of bullshit. They were created from bullshit. In order for the magic spell to
And down
summon
to
one.
bullshit we will descend, and we will take you all with us.
Part of the the regions to summon a sliver is a mound of bullshit.
I will make this argument though: if enough Tyranids hit a sliver colony, they can take it out.
I mean,
Like a small one, not like one of the proper ones, because those are indestructible.
Mike has a half chub anytime someone says the word sliver.
Yes.
When he gets a wood sliver, he kind of quivers in excitement.
I'm one of them now.
This hurts a little bit.
I'm like the artifact sliver, except I'm wood.
It hurts a little bit all the time.
Yes.
And that's what drives their campaigns.
Yep.
Just mild pain all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, the slivers have a hive mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, the
It's
sliver
literally a
that
card.
they-
It isn't fully sentient yet. It's just a thing that's just like, oh hey, I can hear things that aren't me.
Oh, you mean it's
That's
kind of
neat.
like the mild psychic field that the orcs have?
Pretty much. But the thing is, it's evolving constantly. so-
Garfield thinks slivers were a mistake. That's how it would be they were. I agree with him.
Yep.
Wild bullshit. And every time I go to play Magic the Gathering and someone's like, "Oh, this is a sliver deck. Do you mind?" I say, "I mind greatly.
I wonder how much of a mistake.
I mind greatly."
Yes.
Oh, that means I'm taking out my weenie
Garfield
brush
can
deck.
shut the fuck up. I don't care if you made the game.
I wonder.
I mind greatly.
I wonder how often Garfield has seen
Oh,
Keyforge
wall
as a
text.
mistake with all of the problems that it has
No
caused.
shit, right?
Yeah.
Because like Garfield's a very good designer.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong.
Oh, and the
But,
game
like-
is done well, but
But like, there's no way Magic the Gathering is anywhere near what it was originally intended to
Yeah,
be.
right.
maybe. Yeah.
Wall text.
Slivers Expendable Warriors flashback. Oh my god, someone remembers my terrible Warriors games. I actually ran into someone at a party who was like, Mike, I'm such a huge fan of your stuff. I'm like, you watching me on D20 Live? No. Yeah, that's about par.
That's where you point him to D20
I
Live.
did.
You want more of me?
Excessively. I'm like, do you want to know what happened afterwards? Yeah, I love Nauticus. How come you never did anything with them?
Oh, I did.
I
Oh,
did.
I did.
I have him playing Dream Daddy. And then he just automatically subscribed.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a hell of a video.
that was.
That was
That was 2 hours that got shortened to 30 thanks to Sam.
glorious. Sam is best editor.
Speaking of, have you seen the film Slither? No, and I don't want to.
Oh, Slither?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
the
I'm
book.
leaning forward. Is that the one with Nathan Fillion?
It is.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's real.
I love that movie.
It's a funny movie. The book is much more disgusting.
Grim and horror.
It's very much more grim. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I love Nathan Fillion in that. That was great.
The movie made it funnier. It's kind of like Starship Troopers. It's like the movie has nothing to do with the book.
Oh,
Rob
yeah.
Hagen. Rob Hagen said, I always remember Mike. Always.
Aw.
I think he tried to make it sound way more creepy than that, but
I always remember
But it's
I was
text.
touched.
Being a rampant narcissist.
Oh, thank you. I've yet to
noticed
watch
the
any of the
narcissism.
Expendable Warriors adventures. Yeah, they're still good. I think.
My
they're still
first brazier is done.
Yay!
Ooh.
What about the flame?
I mean, yay.
The flame needs more color.
So it's not done.
It's based. It is
white.
based.
That's the difference.
It's white fire, Tom. Stop being
It's
naked
white fire.
shit.
Yeah.
It's clear fire. Look, it's magic.
Magic.
Kind of looks yellow to me. I don't know. what you guys
Painted
talking
blue
about.
and tell Tom to fuck himself.
Another magic question. What scenario would be worse to be in? Owning the Oars of Syndicate or being in a Rakdos performance, the audience participation? I don't know.
I don't
of
know
those
what any
things.
of those
I know nothing about magic.
Hold on.
Do it, Dave. Do it.
Say that one more time. Read it again.
Another Magic the Gathering question. Which
Yeah.
scenario would be worse to be in? Owning the Oars of Syndicate or being a Rakdos performance with an audience participation?
Honestly, I think you can get through owning the Orzhov Syndicate. It's just a lot more paperwork, constant paperwork.
Interesting. Okay.
No paperwork to have a coffee break. Yeah, I think the audience participation. What was it? A show?
Owning the Oars, being a Rakdos performance with an audience participation.
Yeah, I think that's way worse.
Okay. By the way,
I'll
Mike,
take
in
your
June,
word for it.
a Transformers-inspired tabletop RPG is coming to Kickstarter. The fact that I wasn't involved is already makes it.
The
puts it against
Orzhov
me.
are living bureaucracy.
I'm passing around a new picture. This model for 40K that talked about like those retro boots
Yeah.
has
Those-
been
the
passed
Rudy
around
Tooty?
all sorts of Reddit to all sorts of different amusing variations of what has been going on. And right now, these new rootinest, tootinest, shootinest Marines are shown jumping on trampolines, and it's actually quite
Rudy
amusing.
Pooty, Biggie Shooty, special booty Marine.
Special booty
This
Marines.
basically says jump packs are pointless.
Now.
Really?
Well, they're just old technology. I mean, they started putting.
Oh
Oh my god, new technology.
So here's the interesting thing.
Heresy.
So Gulliman. So now that Gulliman's
Yeah,
back,
that's awesome.
Gulliman ordered the tech priests. Basically, the reason the Primaris were created is because Gulliman said, "Oh, by the way, this was the Emperor's plan the entire time. Tech priests, go do it."
Yeah.
And he said, and again, when the Emperor is no longer the head of the religious side of the Imperium, and Gulliman said, "That was not the Emperor's intent. Go forth and make tech."
So why is the Ecclesiarchy and the Inquisition still around if Gulliman's here?
He said it was more trouble to get rid of them than to keep them around.
Yeah,
fair enough.
So that's why all this tech is coming around. I'm like, oh my god, there's actually
Because he remembers how it works.
because he remembered how it all works.
Yeah, he came
Yeah.
back and they were like, "Oh, he's a god. He's returned," and he's like, "What?"
I'm not a god. What?
And
So-
then they're like, "Oh, he's the great holy Gilliman, the Primarch of the whatever, son of the holy
Yeah.
god emperor." And he's like, "What the fuck now? What?"
The holy
And
god.
he
What?
spent a
Where's
very
Dad?
long time telling people to get fucked. He's not a god.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, "Fine, whatever, fine. Let's just, as long as we can move on to the next step, fine, I'm a god. Yeah, all right."
Yeah.
And just he
As long as I'm a god and you follow my orders, I don't give a damn.
And it
dude,
makes you
dude
wonder
gets
whether
pissed when people treat him like a deity. He gets super mad about it.
I wonder if
But it's easier just to accept it and move on.
the higher ups in GW said, you know what, we need a reason to let our creative team just go bananas. So let's bring back Gulliman and give it a reason why, a logical, in canon reason why Gulliman would be back and why tech is now going backward, but finally moving
advancing.
forward and advancing. And it's like, all right, creative team, now you can just do whatever you like. And they did retro boots with big assault cannons on trampolines.
Well, because now because no one in the mechanics should say, "Oh, this is heresy," because Gilliman's gonna like fucking make it.
Go it.
And what are you gonna say? Gilliman's heresy? What are you high?
Exactly.
Here's a question. I want to start reading 40k stuff. Should I try starting at the beginning or just jump in anywhere?
I would start with Dark Imperium, the latest. It depends whether you want to start in Horus Heresy or not. You don't need to. I think the Dark Imperium book, the first 8th edition book that
If you want to, it depends on what your goal is. If you want to jump in and enjoy it, the newer stuff is good.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
If you want to go back and see how the fuck everything happened, that's a
lot.
There's
There's a
a
lot.
whole series just about the heresy and what happened and why chaos is a thing and why is the emperor the way he is and why
Actually,
what are all these Primarchs doing and what the fuck is a Primarch? And,
if you just want to jump into the lore and you don't really particularly care about where you start, walk into a GW. Their Black Library sections have an Age of Sigmar and a 40k book that says start here, and it's actually a really good anthology. Both of them are excellent anthologies of just random stories.
Chapters generally has more selection as far as 40k
but
stuff.
they don't have those books.
They
the
don't
ones that I'm recommending.
No, so you kind of.
It's just the one book that you'll ever need to buy from Games Workshop, and then it will direct you to a bunch of other things.
Roan Flu.
Okay, cool. If he wants to jump on Discord, I can talk to them about it and make some recommendations. I have over 60 40k books.
Yeah.
So, of varying degrees. A lot of the times it's really easy. You just find a chapter that sounds badass, and then you find a book on them.
Yeah.
And I have books for most of all the chapters, and I can definitely guide people if they should want that. If they want to make that journey on their own, then that's perfectly fine too.
Yep.
It's just one of those things where there's a lot of stuff, and it's easy to be dissuaded by the level of material that there is.
Yeah, it is.
Or just watch D20 Live and watch us talk about it.
I mean, that's totally cool too. I'm by no means an expert.
Even
with
really?
well, maybe out of people here, Devin's a close second, if not more so, because
You were there when it was coming down mainline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But at the same time, like I've done enough to get a PhD in 40k.
Any good Warhammer 40k comics?
Yeah, that's about right.
There are actually graphic novels for 40k.
Which one are the good
They
ones?
are Black Templars. I actually have 2 of them.
Oh yeah, isn't that the
They're
one where it's like
quite good.
it shows one Space Marine's entire life cycle?
Maybe there's a bunch of them actually, but I've got this one Dark Templar series. The reason I don't buy graphic novels very much is because, humble brag, I read really fast.
Yeah.
And so I find that by the time I've bought one and I've gotten home, I finished it. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, well, there goes that.
Oh, Lord Jesus Christ. Speaking of Discord, by the way, do I need to wait for anything specific to get the Patreon? Oh, thank you, Shadow.
Shadowcrown, for hosting.
Thank you, Shadowcrown.
Specific to get the patron role, or did the patron Discord integration just screw up? Yes, you need to tell us you subscribe to us on Patreon and give us the name of your account. We will message you on Patreon to verify it, and then you get the notification. But you have to tell us.
We're still learning.
Yeah.
We're still very...
We don't have automation stuff. We're just like,
We're just here.
just tell us.
Our
It's
processes
easier.
are very manual still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything I know about 40k I learned from
Mark
D20
V
Live.
ogres.
Well, man.
Yes.
I'm going to go into a discussion and be really like...
Who would win
See,
Ultramarines versus 6 Mark V ogres? I don't know what that is.
Mark 5 ogres.
I don't know what that is.
Who said that?
Tipslar.
Tipslar.
The blue one.
Uh-oh. Mark 5 ogre.
I
No.
don't know what that is.
Nope.
Explain what a Mark V ogre is.
Unless
Have you
you're
heard of Samuel
unless
Hayes?
you're talking about like the Imperial Guard ogres.
No, that's an ogrin. That's a
Oh, it's an
different thing.
ogre in. Yeah. Never mind. Sorry.
I guess I'll DM Mike, or who should I message? Me or Sam?
Either one, both same time. Who knows?
Yeah.
One of them will get to
And
you.
we'll update you after the stream's done,
I can update you now.
if you want to.
Yeah, we're very open
So yeah,
and
well,
accessible
just message Sam on the Discord, and you'll get the update.
as people. We're very open and accessible. If anybody has any kind of questions at any
You are.
point,
I barely answer my messages anymore because I get so many now.
well, that's the thing. And so there are more of us and other things like that. So we
Give
can
me a
also
fucking look, Tom.
Why?
we can also if Mike's not answering a question, you can message one of us, and we will then badger Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ogre
Good
from
times.
Steve Jackson, Sentient Tanks.
Oh,
I don't
I'm
know
not
if that's
familiar
the
with
same.
Steve Jackson stuff. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Sentient tank versus a Space Marine is a walking tank. So,
Space Marine could do a flip, though. I don't know how if an Ogre can do a flip.
well, if a tank can do a flip, we'll all have much bigger problems.
Okay, we have 2 questions. Have you ever heard of Samuel Hay from the World of Darkness? He's a kinfolk, former ghoul, former skin dancer, former mage, and now an ashtray somewhere in the ruins of Stygia.
Neat.
No, but that sounds complicated. This is a question that's most.
That sounds like really Mary Sue-ish.
It does.
Yes.
I have not heard of it.
Any character that's like former this, former that, former this, former that. I'm like, this was someone's pet.
This
character.
smells like Eleminster.
Yeah, this is someone's pet character they've worked into a storyline.
Yep.
Uh,
Everywhere.
Who here is the most knowledgeable about War Machine hordes?
Devin
I'm looking
Hunter,
to get
hands
back
down.
into it at my game store. I have a giant Crix army. Trying to look at getting hordes. Not sure who I should look at.
Dude, that's not well. Okay.
On
I
camera?
no. Yeah, this camera. Yeah. I stopped playing Hordes and War Machine as a war game about 2 years ago, so I'm behind. I do know that they have excellent learn to play sets, like that. They've redone how they're working on it, and they're all the latest edition are tournament ready right out of the box. So that's a good place to start.
Damn.
Because they're a tournament game.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. If you have a friend, I would always say go for just their 2-player starter sets, because I know the game has changed a fair bit. So I would grab a buddy, buy a 2-player starter set, split it, and start that way. But I'm mainly doing stuff like this because I bought all my War Machine stuff is for the Iron Kingdoms and Hordes RPGs. That's basically what I play now, because I already play Warhammer and Ranges of Shadow Deep and a bunch of other war games. I had to cut somewhere. I had to say no to something. So I'm sorry I can't give you more information about that, but it's just I haven't followed it.
You ever seen them? No. Yeah, they're like specialized.
Okay.
But I would like to post all of your as you're painting.
Laid out for you.
Post all of your stuff in the craft check on our Discord. I'd love to see more painted armies and painted D&D decor. If people are making stuff for D&D or want instructions on how, just start posting in the craft check Discord.
And
So also Geki has been away
like
because he
doing your
burned his
taxes,
hand. I hope you're doing okay, Geki.
Yeah, we'll be doing all right, dude.
no.
Second one done. Hooray.
Apparently,
Second
Base.
Brazer's finished.
Base coated. Hooray!
Thank you. Not finished.
yeah, Tom, you're gonna
Thanks,
clean up
Dad.
that mess on the desk. Aren't you?
Look, no leg to stand on, Tom.
Good.
traps?
You have a
Talk to me when you have finished building.
It's called your fucking hand.
Oh.
You're gonna need a vacuum.
No, you're gonna need a vacuum.
I know. I will,
Oh,
afterwards,
I have
I will get. I will use whatever vacuum you have. I will clean that up.
No, we'll just scrape it off into the bag. It'll be fine.
Nothing at all. We'll get on the carpet.
Yeah, the fine
I will make
powder
very
of the-
sure
the
nothing gets on the
cardboard.
carpet. I promise you. I pledge my life.
You have my vacuum. You have my
My axe.
my axe.
It's like no, the table. Why?
No, why? Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Take a look at these.
So Devin, you got glue?
Those are
What's
the first
this?
Oh,
three
yeah.
sheets of
Oh,
rope.
hot glue.
Holy no.
Yeah. What do you need? What do you need done?
He's putting his Kingmaker character down on physical paper. He's like, these are the first
that-
three
does
sheets.
that about
He's
cover
like,
it?
check these
Yeah.
out. I'm like, no.
I'm using the
please be
Dyslexic
sure that the
Studios
smooth is on the outside.
character sheet, which
No,
is like
I'm not.
doing long form
Are
taxes.
some of these bigger than others?
I'm
Like
not
side
ready.
pieces versus long pieces?
Yes,
not ready for
but it's
this.
so
Y'all ready for
you'll be able to match them up.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And smooth to the outside.
Smooth to the outside. Done. Yep. No
Yeah,
worries.
Jackie, stay safe, man. Don't get burned. I know I wasn't really keeping track on that because I had five things. Are you guys using the new audio setup? No, we are not. We're using
Not
one
today.
Yeti for this. The new audio setup is for proper streams.
Plus, we have too many people and no Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently.
Okay, apparently this password is wrong.
Okay, we'll have to fix that. So yeah, sorry, Lord Jesus Christ. We will literally fix that after we get out of the stream today. Your status on Patreon.
Apparently, that World of Darkness former kinfolk, former ghoul. How do you become a former ghoul, by the way?
Yeah.
Former skin dancer, blah blah blah. Apparently, it was created as a joke.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Who?
It was made as a joke. It was created to be the ultimate badass.
Who?
Now,
Excessive.
if you want to make the ultimate badass in World of Darkness, you Promethean a werewolf.
Honestly, man, I'm so
That-
done with werewolves in general.
Eh,
What about Old Man Jenkins?
you
Bring
think
him in.
Are you thinking? Wait, are you talking about Old Man Jenkins? Or are you talking about Old Man Henderson?
Oh, Henderson.
Yeah.
Sorry. Jenkins is kind of my my fallback on
You have to
old
confirm
man
that this is
name.
me.
Henderson, yes.
Yes.
I don't know anything about the
Ow,
werewolves.
ow, ow.
Old
Hot
Man
glue Devin, hot glue
All
himself.
right, buddy.
Oh, yeah. That just.
Henderson.
Ah.
So
Now
yesterday.
let's all throw our heads back and laugh.
Yesterday.
Oh my God! Why me?
I was actually aiming for Tom.
Because Devin's a super nerd and has poor hand-eye coordination.
Oh, hey, there you go.
I
No.
Ah,
Yeah,
Give it to me, you fucking children.
He's got the garbage bag. He's the
Yeah,
trash
somewhere.
man.
whatever.
He's
Um,
the trash man.
No, I went. Vanessa and I went rock climbing yesterday at a new gym. My hands are really raw from all the rough texture of the rocks at the gym,
I will.
He's
and
a weak little baby
I will
man.
do the thing.
seasoning his hands. I'm like, oh shit! Did you see that? He's seasoning his hands for the slap.
He puts it right in the air. He's asking for God.
The
to bless
prayer.
his hand.
when you see a man raise his hand like that, you know he's got divine power, and you get the fuck away. It's a great video.
Oh, I love that so much. The commentary was beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, that was a great video. But
Slapped
so I
the
had
shit
so
out
I
of
have raw, like post rock climbing hands that just got hot glue on them.
Humble brag, Devin rock climbs, just so everyone knows.
Humble brag.
Humble brag.
Humble brag.
What? I
Climbed
do
a-
it. It's not that big of a deal.
Have you climbed a 75-foot wall? 'Cause I just did yesterday.
Humble brag.
Humble
Climb
brag.
75-foot wall. That should be on the ground.
Vertical climb.
I can climb a
Batman
100-foot wall that's
style.
on the ground.
Batman style. It's through Batman style with a sideways camera.
Like Adam
Give
West
me a
Batman
car, I
style.
can go a mile.
Hey, Robin.
Adam West Batman
Conversation.
style.
Not that
I can climb
impressive,
buildings.
Devin. It's just a matter of the angle of control. Are you working smarter or harder?
Clearly harder.
Yes.
You're supposed to use your legs too.
To
Right?
those of you,
Yes.
Lord Jesus Christ, you should have now Patreon status.
We're just doing customer service.
Okay, am I
live.
actually before I continue? Am I
No,
doing
it's
this right? Like, are these meant to
accountability.
be like the middle, or like the on the inside of the larger ones?
Yeah.
Like, is that the right angle? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Make a box, man.
Yes, but there's a box where I can put them this way, or a box I can put them this way. There's a
And
difference.
whatever way, whatever happens, I'll shove it in there some way. Don't worry about it.
Tom's got a wife, everyone.
He's had children.
He has had one child.
Whatever happens, I'll shove it in there some way. I'll fit it in somehow. Can I put that up? I call that for Tom's.
Hey, more rock climbing challenges on D20 live games. Okay.
Pass, hard.
Hard pass, hard
okay.
pass.
Yeah, there are 2 fucking parents in
Rob,
there.
I'm fat. Leave me alone.
To those of you getting Pokemon Sword/Shield, who are you picking for your starter?
Bunny!
What are the choices?
Sam picked a fire rabbit. I think that was kind of obvious.
Bunny! It's on fire!
Well, there's a grass type, a fire type, and a water type.
I'm gonna slap you in the mouth. What are they?
It's a grass monkey, a
Pass.
water newt,
God
and
damn it,
a
that
fire
cries.
bunny.
Fire bunny, I guess.
Fire bunny!
I'm going to choose the third option. Not sword, not shield, but gun.
Gun.
Pokemon revolver.
I'm the only one with a gun in this world.
If there was a Pokemon that was
Pokemon
would you need
Bolter.
a license for that Pokemon?
There's a Digimon that is a gun.
That's not the Digimon we don't talk about here.
Here we do.
It's terrible.
It's great.
Horrible.
It's great.
Really? They called everything Mon.
Yeah, I know.
Pokémon.
Angemon, Angewomon.
I know. It's on point.
Did Sam say fire?
Bishopmon.
Fire!
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 Fire rabbit.
Fire rabbit!
Burn the rabbit down.
It's very Japanese.
Shadow
Fire
Clone,
rabbit.
I think the
what was
constantly
Shadow Crone's
crying
previous
newt
question?
is
It was
actually
about War
pretty
Machine.
good.
Asked what the War Machine
That's
does.
where
I don't
water
play
comes
any
from.
army
Oh,
thing anymore. I want to
Ew.
pick up a new RP. I want to pick up
Glock.
the new RPGs as the last one.
Wait,
Oh,
made the
so
round a little
yeah,
bit.
Oh,
they
wait.
want to play the
Okay, so you
Then I pull out my gun. I choose you.
Just pistol whip the
Dave, actually, no. In the Pokemon world, cops have guns. It just doesn't come up a lot.
Oh.
Oh my God, Officer Jenny's packing.
I cast 9mm. It's like you killed that Blastoise.
So Shadowcrown, are you getting into War Machine and what, like War Machine and Hordes, the war game, or War Machine and Hordes, the RPG, based on your last set? Question.
Megatron Mon.
Because I can answer the RPG question.
Yeah. It was a modified
Dave, you're becoming a meme.
3.5 system, right?
Yeah, so I pulled
Well,
up
no,
my
there
gun.
was legitimately a modified 3.5 system, and then they made an RPG that would be
I
an
can't-
easy transition for people who played the war game.
Oh.
What we're playing is the one that is made by Privateer Press. that
Oh,
is-
okay. So
yeah.
there's a legit actual RPG
There is a
system.
3.5 RPG system for our kingdoms.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I which
Privateer Press was more fun.
which do you think is more
Both of
more
them.
interesting?
Well, you're just making my life fucking complicated, aren't you? Okay. Pick up if you like steampunk and steam tech and Final Fantasy VI, pick up the
Ooh.
Iron Kingdoms RPG.
You like 6.
Yes.
If you
Why
like,
did you
if
boo?
you
Punk in general.
if you want to play
It's bad.
a fantasy game where you gain power by devouring your foes, quite literally, you are eating and through devouring their life energy, you're getting stronger and earning experience points. That's the Horde system. They are completely interchangeable, and you can have both in the same system. I currently play the Iron Kingdoms one because there's more material for it, but I would start with those two. They have introductory scenarios in each. Actually, get the both of them have, if you look on the Privateer Press site, there's actually starter sets for both that have miniatures in them for both games.
Well, now the chat's just arguing the validity of using a gun
In Pokemon.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's an episode that got banned where basically what happened was that they got on this like one dude's property and
It was the Safari Zone.
they literally like pulled out a gun and it was just like, well, that's a gun.
Remember that time when Ash Ketchum's Pokemon journey almost ended? Like real fast. So yeah, then I
Every
used my Pokemon to
episode?
bury him in a hill.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know 3.5 was made by Privateer Press. It was still their thing. It was just they
So yeah, there's that.
yeah.
That's an important part of when you scream out, and then I'll pull out my gun. You have to wave it around in the air like a crazy person.
You have to brandish it.
never use it. Just show people that you have one.
Hey everybody, I pulled out my gun!
It's like just making everyone uncomfortable.
Wildly.
Oh, Conrad was going to be interesting.
Oh, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it this year. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, modified 3.5.
Oh, shit.
Privateer Press,
There's not enough spots in this inventory.
All the shit you have.
Start teaching me the war game. Yeah,
In a
honestly,
game we've played
dude, do
for the
that.
last 4 years.
If your game store has demo for it, or if they have, ask if they have a press ganger. If they have a press ganger, have the press ganger come in and show you the game. That's the easiest way to get into the war game, because they will actually have armies available and will tell you what the current meta is for those armies. That's yeah.
They have their outreach guys are called press gangers.
Yes. Yeah, because Privateer Press started as a the entire theme.
They're very piratey.
They're very piratey. So they have the press gangers who are the ones who actually go to the stores, get them their product, run tournaments, that sort of thing.
That's basically like saying here is our company representatives. They're called the kidnappers.
Yep, they are called press.
Can we call that like
Forceful
our people?
employers.
Yep, in the same
No
way.
one's kidnapped. You're getting paid.
In the same way that Paizo has
Your
the Pathfinders for
Yeah,
Privateer
that
Press,
makes
it's the press
sense.
gangers. Yeah.
But it's just like sorry.
See, problem solved.
Nintendo calling the reps the kidnappers. Really? Come on.
To be fair.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But still,
And honestly, in terms of the advice I'll give you, Shadowcrone, for Wargame and what do you play first, if you are planning on painting them, the same advice I gave while I worked at GW. I pointed to the wall and said, "What looks cool?" And it was
wow,
just-
you were a good employee at GW.
yeah, it was just
You
one of
weren't
those.
part of the comic at all.
No, it's like you did like. I can tell you all about the game, but until you actually learn the game, there's no point in me saying they're the best. They're meta. No, fuck that. It's like, take a look at all these models. We painted all these. What looks cool? These guys are aliens. These guys are. And you say what looks cool. Cool, you like that? Here's a here's a like basic version of that model. Let's sit down. I'll teach you to paint it. D20 Live Kidnapper.
No. Our staff are not going to be called the D20 Live
Hey,
Kidnappers.
Rob, don't do it.
Fuck off!
It's Steve Jackson Games. They're called the MIB.
But yeah, Jordan, you've never seen the Warhammer comic of Everything That's Wrong with Games Workshop?
Oh man, pick one.
There's one where it's basically the guy comes in with his kid and says, "My son wants this and this model," and the person who works at the store just laughs and says, "Well, you can't do that. You got to buy this army and this army and this army and this army."
Yeah, no, it's
that
changed real fast. I was in the middle. I worked there in the middle of that change, when people were trying to sell the product too much instead of just selling the hobby. They sold the game. And like, no, you can't like, because there was a period in time there where we actually had not just a metric for dollars, but it was a metric for what was called core product.
Yeah.
The starter set, the core paint set, that sort of thing. So you turn to this poor 12-year-old with the parent that has their wallet out in front of them, and it's like, well, you don't just buy that because you can't play a game with that. No, I would make sure the kids could play whatever game they wanted to play. It wouldn't be the most balanced thing. But it's like, do you like this model? Let's go ahead and just paint it. You tell them to do that next step. I hated seeing employees who are like, oh, you want to play that cool Tyranid model that would really inspire your passion? No. You're gonna buy this $120 box set full of models that don't interest you at all. Yeah. And the kids can be like, well, what am I gonna do with this? And it's overwhelming for a 12-year-old to sit there with all these models.
Yeah.
There's no point in doing that. But
It makes more sense for them to buy slowly over time.
Yeah.
I like this. Calling the D20 Live team the Centurions.
Nice.
I like that. Centurions.
Because we are Legion.
Yeah.
They are
They're the
Legion.
Legion and the
They are the
Star is
Legion
called
and
the
the
Centurions.
Yeah.
I don't like what that makes you.
Emperor.
Nope.
Primus Pilius, the head of the
Yeah.
Centurions.
They did Da Vinci.
I'm gonna throw a brick at you.
Which brick?
I'm just gonna call him Maximus Flashulus.
How about you go fuck yourself?
Flatulent. Biggest dickus.
In
I'll go with
Incontinentia.
Incontinentia.
I'm the Emperor of D20 Live. Biggest dickus.
Big sticks. Yeah, dude. Crix is a combination of undead plus pirates plus mechs all in one.
Oh,
Like that.
Undead
That's just
pirate
cool.
mechs.
Undead
Rad.
pirate mechs that
You
feed
guys
off of necrotic
ought
energy.
to refer
Rad.
to your brain
Yup.
teases D20 live.
What?
D20 livery? Livery?
Livery.
A livery.
Okay, I'm done for that. That part's good. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Sparkimus Prime?
Yeah.
I don't get that reference. I mean, apart from the Transformers Prime thing.
I was gonna say you don't.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
it's Sparkimus.
Oh, okay.
I think he said Sporkimus.
I think they're just saying
He's the
spark.
Lord of
like the
utensils?
spark.
Oh, Nauticus Prime.
Nauticus Primus. It makes Mike Nauticus. Hilarious.
If a headmaster. me a second. I need to write something.
Please don't encourage him.
And you just and the chat just encouraged something Nauticus related.
But yeah, Jordan, those are the 3 starters.
They named it Sobby?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Sobble.
Yeah, but
Sobble.
Sobble. It cries all the time, apparently. And melts
like an
hearts.
eye.
Yeah, this bunny. This
Dude
fire
was like,
bunny.
that's where its power comes from. Being sad.
Being
Oh,
sad. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't want that at all.
Use water gun.
Out of its eyes.
That's disgusting.
Oh, it's so salty.
Oh.
I'm so terrified that this is going to be another firefighting because it's got tape over its nose.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if it wasn't firefighting, what would you prefer it be?
I don't know because we already had Fire Dark, so maybe Fire Fairy.
Fire Dark was garbage.
Incineroar was amazing. Take that back.
It's garbage.
No, Incineroar was amazing.
I still have no idea how to incorporate a
Sparkmas
dark
Prime is a
Pokemon.
C-Lab 2021 reference. I haven't seen C-Lab 2021.
Okay.
I love how that's what you've been doing this whole time.
I know, right?
What?
I love how that's what you've been doing this whole time.
No, someone put it in the chat.
Oh. So...
All right, time to do some building. I've been doing a bunch of painting. Time to do some building.
Because I liked firefighting because it satisfied the fighting role, which is really helpful when you inevitably come up against that whole... We're in a cave part
I know, but that's what Torchic
full of
was
Geodudes.
for. That's what Torchic was for, because Torchic turned into
trash.
Blaziken. No! Blaziken's amazing!
Ultra trash.
No! How dare!
We have very different Pokemon tastes.
Ugh.
She can't even.
It's like, I can't even. I'm done with you.
Oh, it's
I
so
like
bad.
Pokemon Pikachu, and fucking 90% of the Pokemon on that goddamn island are something flying. It's super irritating.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, this is designed for Pikachu to win.
Yep.
It's like, but I don't want to fucking Pikachu.
I don't want to fucking bring it up.
Didn't want it. I was like, why did you take the Eevee? Eevee's worse.
This is so hard to use with a larger. It's done, by the way. It's right there.
Thank you.
Jack, shut up! He goes, Jordan's right, you know. And I'm like, no!
I do know things about things sometimes.
How dare! He's like, Sceptile and Swampert are better. No!
So Sam's gym are all fire types?
Yes.
I like Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur's cute.
Bulbasaur doesn't keep up with the rest of the meta in the endgame.
Yes, he does. Solar Beam, Sunny Day. Bam, 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 bam.
I like Hitmonchan.
That's because you see yourself in him.
All
You
the
guys
fighting
wanna see my
types. I have
Mankey?
my gym is fighting types. If I had
Actually,
a
no,
gym.
actually, my gym is actually fighting type.
Do you guys want to see my Mankey?
No.
I'll whip it out right now.
No!
Have you seen Halucha?
Slap it off with a 2x4.
Have you seen Halucha?
No way.
Oh, oh,
You
God.
have not seen Halucha?
I
Phone out and look that
I'm
up.
gonna look.
I haven't kept up with Pokemon.
Hang on,
It's-
I'll show them
I really
Halucha.
haven't.
Yeah.
I'll show you Halucha.
Oh, that's Gen
Is
6.
that fucking parrot?
Yeah,
That thing's awful.
that thing's awesome.
It
You shut your
never evolves.
No, it doesn't need to because it's already perfect.
Ultra trash. They didn't even bother to make an evolve form for it.
It is a flying fighting type.
Nope. If they put in... What's this?
It's supposed to be the mag.
It looks like it has an erection. Put it
so
normal.
cool. Ah! A flying. That actually looks cool. It looked. I know why you like it. It reminds you of luchadors.
Yeah.
There.
Fucking awesome.
Progress on Bolter.
Nice.
I don't care what its
Really
actual cry is. In my mind, it just screams, "Oh, Lucha!" And all evil.
So you like it because you've headcanoned it.
Damn
Yes.
right I have. That's the reason why I like King K. Rool in Smash. Because I voice him when I play him. And it's hilarious for everyone else around.
Is it though?
It is. Sam, is it?
Zap, justify me.
Sam, justify.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is looking pretty good.
I wonder if Arcata will ever get his flying type Eevee.
Nice.
It's never gonna
Gonna
happen.
happen.
That looks awesome.
There's a flying type Eevee.
I see
No.
you got
He
the
wants there to
extended
be
mag.
mag.
He
Oh.
wants it so bad.
What?
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 Okay.
Okay.
Shiny Howlucha looks like EVA's Ava's everyone. Shut up.
Everybody-
It's John. I can say that to him. Actually, Jordan Howlucha is OP. They had to ban it online at one point.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really okay.
That's
Hmm.
it.
My opinion is by no means even remotely close
I know
to
you
reality.
gave me all your Pokemon games.
I did. We had to go to a good home.
They did. They're doing quite well.
I could not keep my Pokemon games, and I did not have a system to play them on. And I said, Mike, will you adopt my Pokemon games? And he said yes.
Sure. I adopt a lot of things people don't want to use anymore.
Because like hell, I'm selling them. Because one of them was like platinum or pearl, something like that.
Yeah, you had platinum.
Platinum,
Which is a good one, too.
yeah.
I actually quite like this. I should use this.
What?
You described it. It's when Shadowcrown was in the military. His local game store said, "Oh, you want to know about the different factions? Cricks are led by a dragon and death. Menoth are angry churchies.
Yep.
Kador are angry Russians. Signar are high tech blue guys." I'm like, yes, yes,
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
I actually, I think I still have the models for my Menoth.
You have your
You
Menoth.
should.
Yeah, you have your
You guys have
Menoth.
not played in ages, though.
Well, it's because it's
And you wouldn't let me play with my Transformers either.
well, okay.
That's because they're the
there are
wrong base
many
sizes.
reasons.
There are many reasons to not play with
Because
Transformers.
we'd win.
No, because there are no rules for them, and they're the wrong base sizes.
You guys have shotguns. We have shotguns.
Shotguns.
Just ours are...
Boom! It's like, oh god, where'd they go? Yes.
No, Mike, you can't use Bruticus.
Well, you can.
There was there was at one point created by Steve Jackson Games a set of rules where you could use any toys you had at all, and you could apply rules to them and actually use any of your action figures, war game models, anything you'd like in a battle.
Why the hell aren't we doing that?
Because I haven't found it yet. I know it exists.
Shut your
Give me
hole.
5 seconds, I'll find it.
Okay, have fun.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Then
1,
3 days later.
2, 3, 4.
5.
Still hasn't found it.
Yeah, no.
The pedantism is real.
Yeah.
yes.
I have found the original, something that I'm happy I have in my collection now. The original rules for D&D.
Is it Ogre?
No.
Okay.
You'll find it. It's the original rules that D&D were based off of chainmail, like the very first Gary Gygax, like rules for here's how you actually play skirmish military medieval battles. Like it was neat. It's cool just to have.
Okay, I can't find it. I'm moving on.
Yeah. When we find it, we'll do a stream.
Yeah, we will.
We'll do a stream
We'll do a
of
stream.
like all the like Transformers versus War Machine versus 40K Titans versus all sorts of
Yeah,
You know
this
what
is
would be
awesome.
cool is
Probably
if we
should,
do find
after
it,
here.
we can bring, like, obviously we'll use some of your stuff, but like,
Yeah.
any
No,
kind
I'll
of,
use some of my stuff.
and we'll see if the rest of us can maybe find something to bring
Yeah.
that where we could just work on applying rules to it and see if we can make them manageable.
Smash should be a
It'd be-
week
it'd
before
be fun
stream,
activity.
especially after Joker comes out. Tipsler, I don't have a capture card to play it with.
Maybe next. Maybe by the time April comes around. Maybe.
Well, I gotta save up my money. to upgrade
We could do
it.
poor man's capture card and just aim a camera at the screen.
Oh,
Well, the
can we
refresh
take it up
rates
so we
won't
see
make
the
it
raster?
terrible, will it?
Does
The
anyone
raster.
remember
The raster.
/have the Shadowrun action figures that doubled as their own skirmish minis for the game?
No, I didn't even know that existed.
Didn't even care. I'm a bastard.
All right.
And off camera. There.
Devin,
Yeah.
please, glue.
What do you need
yes,
glued?
with his tasty
The
beverage.
everything. I need the everything glued.
The ev-
That's
the everything.
That's
These
going to be tricky. Okay.
Well, it's
Let's start a piece at a time. What do you need me to glue?
well, this needs to be glued.
That's too far in.
That's too far out.
It looks like a bull pistol.
Honestly, here,
it is a
put it
chicken
here.
all
No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
Here, no,
Well,
put it
shit.
flat.
It's not a bolt.
Get it in an ideal
kinda
position. Okay, get it in your ideal
The
position.
ideal position would be that this cut lines up with this
Okay,
on,
so
on both sides.
if that's the ideal cut, put it flat. Okay. Get it where you want it to be.
Now
It'd be
stab
so much
him.
better
Hold it all in
on
place.
camera.
Lift the top off. Lift the top.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Rock Smasher has now followed us.
Thank
Thank
you, Rock
you
Smasher.
very much, Rock
This
Smasher.
part is not. That,
Oh.
I did it good for
Just
this
an
side.
idea.
Okay, well, so
Just an
you
idea.
get what I
Could you
mean,
do
right?
it
So,
on
so
camera?
Could you do that on camera so people could see what you were doing?
Do what on camera?
Oh
Yeah,
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 sorry.
let's-
That's
Devin's
Yeah.
taken the entire
sorry.
screen.
There's so many paints here that I can't do anything.
Oh, you poor baby.
Devin, the
Hey, you
special
right
princess,
bastard.
needs all of the space.
All in that space.
All right.
You're right.
I mean, this is the
bastard.
craft stream, so we.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's get everything over.
Don't make me go.
The special
for Jack
snowflake
White here,
crafter needs all the space. Okay.
So you.
That, I admit it. I insulted myself.
Okay, I wasn't. Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yay,
So-
I guess.
Get your goddamn jelly beans out of there.
and M&M's.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, Mr. Snacks a lot.
Doing?
I don't know, man. I'm not in your brain.
I can't remember.
So we're gonna get this lined up.
Team abuse.
Yeah.
You're making your character
So
sheet for...
we have to line up
I know,
so
but
that
I
it
put
looks
all
like
back
it's
together
one
for a reason,
seamless
and I can't remember
piece.
the
Yeah.
Check it.
Were you
then
done?
flip.
Almost.
And
Hold that in
then-
place.
Yeah.
And then we're
holding-
going to trace
Here,
all the way
yeah,
along the
yeah.
edge.
I didn't put everything.
Thanks, Jordan, on the books about the
Don't use
car.
Carcadon.
I need to order a Tiberius figure to set on top of my PC.
Okay.
There's reasons.
Yeah, I've got those Shadowcrone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a couple of discussions about the Carcadon Space Marine chapter. They're one of the I think they're one of the cursed founding chapters that happened much later on.
Yeah.
That where they're called that because they had a
Okay,
lot
lift.
of problems.
Beautiful.
Basically being
Mostly. Damn. Do it one more time. So we're close.
And so
Okay.
they are
There.
a specific chapter that is
Line up on
they're
that
called a
side?
Crusade chapter. And what that means is they have no set base of operations. They exist in basically a massive fleet that roams the stars, essentially. There's a couple of
That's good.
chapters like
Okay.
that, but just that one.
Once again.
It's the exact same pencil mark you had.
Their main function is to explore basically the outer reaches of the known universe, and to go into deep space and patrol there. They've run into
that should be
the
good.
Tyranids quite a bit.
Okay, and we do
Okay.
the exact same thing for the other side.
They
Yep.
came up against some traitor legions before they turned chaos, so more renegades than anything, and just beat the unholy shit out of all of them. Like, they're very good at what they do. They're
Basically just created that pencil mark so we know where we're going to be placing.
Yeah. Now, ideally,
hot
what we need, unfortunately, is both of them to be lined up together because we can't have one side line up when the other is not. So.
Yeah.
So, where the Space Marines are basically Viking Space Marines, these guys are more like warrior, like
Yeah.
Pacific village,
Assistance.
where they are very sharp oriented. There's lots of teeth, necklaces, lots of intricate
No, no,
tattoos.
yep.
I think Jason Momoa is a Space Marine,
Got it.
There.
except super quiet and no one
That?
and they
Okay.
don't talk.
Now lay the
ever.
other piece on top.
Well, that'd be even more concerning.
Make sure
Yeah, they
that,
don't talk
that
ever
these two
to-
pieces line up.
Yeah.
Basically to reflect
Along the front, you
silence
mean,
of
right?
Yeah, along the front.
deep space or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's very emo, but also
Crafters
really
use
cool.
what is readily available to them, including tissue boxes.
Oh, by the way, Devin, I have something I need. There's something I need to add on to your Shadowrun game. I got to remember to talk to you about that.
okay.
This
There's
just
a bunch of
just
shit.
moved.
No, just one thing.
Oh, okay.
The other
No.
thing.
Does it have to do with Flynn?
No.
Okay.
It has to do with Fussy Birches.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, spoilers!
Spoilers.
I think you know what it is. I just want to give you the scene for that because that
Yeah,
one
no
has
problem.
To, that one has to
Borrowing
fit
an
the
actual
Okay.
thing.
I'm borrowing a cat.
Beautiful. All right. Now we do the carefully
Talk
place
of
that
angry
on the.
Jason Momoa.
Oh,
reminds me
I'm
that
shifting
World of
this like
Darkness is
mad.
worse.
Damn. Fuck.
Were sharks would definitely be a hindrance to your day-to-day life.
How
like,
movable is the?
I am
is it-
transformed,
is it
I can't
once you
breathe.
hot glue it, how movable?
Jordan, I just remembered your quote when I said those poor mantis warriors, and you said, "Don't feel bad about those idiots."
No, I mean,
The
like,
shows
after-
Tiberius just
when
walking
it's still
all through
setting.
them.
What did?
Not.
What did I say?
Well,
that I don't remember.
when it's
Don't
very,
feel
When
bad
it's
about
hot,
those
as soon
idiots
as
for
you
the mantis folk.
apply it, how
Oh,
much
you have
move-
a very
They-
minute. You have like 5 or
they
6
made
seconds.
some bad choices.
That should be enough.
You have 5 or 6
They
seconds after
decided
first
to go
contact.
pirate in the Imperium, and then the
Let's just
Carcadons
glue
were
one
like,
one side.
How
No.
about, how about this? Let's glue this together
Smack.
because this needs to line up, and the other piece just needs to sit inside of it. Then we just simply slide it in.
And then put the glue here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well-
Yeah, we can.
Well, you know, like so that it just.
Yeah, but the
it's-
moment you slide it like that, it's that what we're doing actually works better because
We
you
need
will-
someone to gift this and be like Tech Priest working on first Circa Millennium 32.
Circle that right. And it's like blueprints.
How I put what?
How I put what where
There's
how?
like pencils and hot glue.
And on this day, the Imperium of Man learned they were a little too closer to
then-
the
then
orcs
let's
than they
just
would have
glue
really
it.
liked.
Yeah, we're gonna glue one piece
Oh
in.
my god.
There's pencils and hot glue.
Pencils
First
and
bolt-
hot glue. The first bolter.
Oh my god, it's William Osmond with the first tech priest building a boulder. This is wildly unsafe.
No. It's just I'm laughing at this. World
It's
of
up for
Dark.
interpretation.
Just
Go ahead.
just this argument that's happening on the YouTube chat where Geki was saying World of Darkness is everything as where everything doesn't it, and Lord Satan got really defensive and said not everything. I'm like,
Okay.
kind of.
I identify as a were-couch. Sit on me.
I identify as an Apache helicopter, so... When I come around, everybody knows.
I'm firing missiles at you!
Hey, give me.
So, chat, do you have questions for us? Just to get us off this horrid train of fucking thought?
No, this is what they came here for.
Is it?
I don't know.
It is now.
Yeah, it is now.
It is now.
All right. There we go.
Like it, live it, love it.
All right, press that down. Press that down in place.
Growlithe is best fire type. Get over yourself.
We are still on that topic.
I think
Growlithe, please.
I have a different opinion on that. The best fire type that I know is a Flammenwerfer. It werfs flammen.
It's also from World War II.
It's a flamethrower.
Now I have the cape. I make swoosh noises.
I don't know. I think they're just occupying themselves.
Yeah.
This is my Nebelwerfer. It werfs Nebels.
Yes, BC. A community.
Sure does.
A community has
You're
hit
so
its
good
best.
at it.
Its best self when it entertains itself, and only occasionally is entertained by us.
No, that's Brock. These are easily replaceable.
Someone
Now,
sent me
now
art of
I have
Airwolf
the
as a
cape.
transformer.
I make the
That's actually
swoosh
really nice.
noises.
Neat.
Swoosh.
Someone from the chat sent me artwork of Airwolf as a transformer. Yeah, the Ecto 1's being made as a Airwolf helicopter.
Oh, from that old
Oh,
ass show.
wow, yeah.
Oh,
80s?
no.
Nice.
It actually looks nice. You know, the Ecto 1's getting released as a transformer.
Really?
Yeah.
How many Nat 1s have you had in a game? But have you had in a game before Friday?
Hi, my name is Mike.
Mike has had 4 Nat 1s in a row. Yeah, 4 Nat 1s
I'm
in a
pretty
row.
honest,
I cried.
so I get lots.
Yeah. And I've seen, was it you or Scott that I was literally watching as you went Nat 20, Nat 20, Nat 20?
Scott.
Yeah, it was because I was watching him.
Bullshit.
That was like, it was just one of those Nat 20. And I looked and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. All right. It's like, so confirm it. Nat 20. And then he decided, you know what? Let's just see. And I was watching him as he went, I just want to see how long this goes. Nat 20. Oh shit! Okay, and roll. And like he got to 3, but it was just one of those. That's ridiculous.
Wasn't
Wow.
that when he turned a medium monstrous giant spider into a medium monstrous sleeping bag?
Yeah, but Devin was
Yeah.
here for that one.
Hey guys, I just got a text from Rogers telling me I have a refund on my account. I should click this link to get it, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
That
Throw
is
your
you can
like,
trust
like-
that totally.
All right.
All right.
Now we're ready for application.
Oh, phone
Yeah,
and
sorry,
sorry,
Sam.
scams.
Two?
They're so fun.
Please, people who are actually watching this and don't know, please do not click on links that are in your phones.
Yeah.
Be suspicious of any new email.
Yeah.
How do you deal with broken builds in Pathfinder? Devin gives them to me because I roll terribly.
No, do you mean like broken player builds?
I just
We
mean like
don't.
it's
We just
overpowered.
we don't deal with it. We let Scott do whatever he wants.
And there's a
Boy,
How did your bard get a gun, Scott? Who knows?
who knows?
he wished hard enough, and the god
He took
guns.
a level in Gunslinger,
Yeah.
and then he made a spell version of Gravity.
I just make his
It
DC higher than
exists,
anyone
so-
else's DC.
He didn't make it. It exists.
For you it's a 10, for you it's a 15.
For you, it's a 15, Scott. Just because. No, it's
Gravity
honestly,
gun does
if
exist.
it's a broken difference if it's a player like a power gaming player who's doing a broken build versus a build that just happens to be broken, which is Tom's character in Kingmaker, but
yeah,
Tom is a great player, but his paladin build is busted as shit.
Okay.
Busted in the proper way that they meant
Whoa,
it to be.
okay.
The only one that's worse is this asshole over here.
I was gonna say, what's wrong with my build?
Your build is very specifically broken to where you can get over 120 damage in one swing. His build is generally broken where he just gets 5 shots all the time and now can smite one of those builds.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
likes
because of
me
me,
too.
because of my the Aura of Justice ability.
Yeah.
You share the smite to every single.
Yeah.
So
So it's
Now I'm a holy howitzer.
Yeah, because
if it's a good player, if it's someone who's not trying to abuse it and pull and kill everything themselves,
Yeah, the
you just
local
let it happen
crusading priest
and
comes
you
by and blesses me.
honestly, I
I
deal
go.
with it by running test combats before the game, so I know it at least gets to round 2. And if a fight gets to round 2, then it's an okay fight.
Okay, hang
Yeah,
on. We got a bunch
but-
of questions.
Okay.
Oh, sure
first-
we do.
All right.
Jack had a good joke though. Broken like a blood
I-
ranger, shifter, barbarian,
Where's
gargoyle,
that-
or
put
just a
that under?
summoner.
Yeah. Now let's do it on the opposite side. So now we're gonna.
I just got a new high-end PC after 5 years of having a POS laptop. I'm looking for good games to play. Any recommendations? I'm a fan of open-world games with deep stories. Ye olde bearded dude, those are two mutually exclusive things.
The Witcher 3. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say no, they are most certainly not. Not with Witcher.
What?
Yeah.
Only with Witcher though. Okay, given the
Yeah.
current trend of how open world is going,
Yes.
boiling
Yes.
out of the story from it.
Actually, I find
Subnautica?
I find Assassin's Creed Odyssey is an excellent open world RPG.
Yeah.
That has a really good story in it.
Subnautica
Yeah.
doesn't have a great
So
story.
AC Odyssey is another one.
Yeah, AC Odyssey is fantastic.
Witcher
I'm-
3, it's not really an RPG, but it has a lot of RPG. Oh no, that's PS4 exclusive. Sorry. I was thinking of Horizon.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
Wait, no. PC.
Well, I mean, as long as it's not a PlayStation exclusive, it'll be on PC, so.
Yeah.
Question for Big Mike. Given your rate of successes in games, thanks. Have you ever played a character whose entire shtick is rerolling dice?
How do you do
Yikes.
that?
Ouch.
I'm pretty sure it wouldn't work.
Arcade, really, it's the closest.
Arcade's the closest.
Because first I get injured, and then I roll. Okay, now I'm going to roll to recover. Oh, I made it this time, and now
line
now
up.
I work.
Line up and then just lift off.
Characters
that
whose shtick
tissue
is
box?
re-rolling
Yeah.
dice? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I think we'll be
The
easier if
closest
we
I can
just
think of is-
line this
is
up
a good-
properly, and
is,
then I'll use the pencil
close I
while
think
it's
I
sitting on
marked
here.
Oh, so
I failed that
this
first
top part is
roll.
glued.
Gets
It's
me
glued,
pumped.
and that's the
And then
only
my
way I
second,
can
third,
do
fourth,
it,
and
so we
fifth
can
roll
draw
are
a
like,
pencil.
okay, now I'm
Well, how about
injured.
this? Draw
Good
the.
to go!
Here. This is
For Pathfinder, my
This-
only
this
thing
is lined
that I
up
could think
here,
of would
then
be
let's
like
line it up.
a luck halfling. Luck based?
like vertically.
Yeah.
Where you just
Yeah.
are able to re-roll stuff.
There's also
Or
a...
Wendell from Mutants and Masterminds, but you didn't play Wendell, and you played.
yeah, I played Quantum.
That's pretty good, Tom.
But basically, it's Wendell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Or,
I think maybe the magazine is a little
Or,
weird, but
Yeah, but
Cleric
it's something
Cleric
that it's not because I don't plan on gluing it in.
Oh,
I
yeah.
plan on having it be removable,
Gotcha.
so I could craft a different magazine. And I also plan on putting like 1 or 2 layers of paper mache on this,
all right.
so that it's much more paintable, because this cardboard is not the best.
Yeah, and you can layer it with really really thin, like a half-centimeter foam from Michaels along the outside, just to give a smooth surface for the paper mache to attach to, like on anything here.
Yeah.
Yep. Jack, I take anything AC that deals with historical figures in and of itself, I take it with a grain of salt. As long as the character is entertaining, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I haven't really ever been mad about how a character is treated, but I can certainly understand that opinion.
Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed probably Black Flag the most.
Oh yeah.
I loved Brotherhood though.
Lift up from
Someone played
from
Brotherhood.
It's
the cardboard a little bit.
Yep.
No,
Oh,
the
oh.
bottom piece.
Creed
Okay, go.
2.
There, put it down.
But
Yeah.
Because
they
there's
throw
a layer
so
of
much shit
cardboard
away.
right here
It's
that's
Right.
preventing it from being even. So this
Okay.
this helps with keeping it.
Like it
Yeah,
gets,
makes sense.
It gets
That's the
like
reason why
wacky
I
after
had
a
that when I was pressing it, because then I could put
You know, I'm-
apply the force correctly.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
done with Assassin's Creed. I
That's
played because Black Flag. I love Black Flag, but by the end of it, I was like, I'm kind of done with this
That's fair.
franchise.
Black Flag is a lot.
Yeah, well, and to be
Um,
fair, the Assassin's Creed franchise, in my opinion, went downhill after Assassin's Creed 3.
To be fair, the end of Black Flag, it might be because I have a daughter, and I don't know if that fucking hit me right in the feels, but I legit teared up at the end of Black Flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's the story. The Black Flag had a fantastic story, but then the following 2 games were kind of
Rogue and Unity.
no.
which was supposed to be-
I ignore Rogue because it's not.
That's more like a supplement.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
a supplement.
supplement.
It's not.
It ties into Unity in a neat way. It just
Sure.
they never pay
Yeah.
it off.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
You do everything you need to on
As
the
much as
side.
I can on that. I
Okay.
can't as far as I can get underneath here. So
That's all
we're
we
gonna
need.
do it this way, and then actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue a little bit on this side, since we can't actually get the glue
So-
over here.
Well,
We're
we
gonna
can.
glue at the
No,
top
no.
and then underneath here. So
I don't know what Shattered Star is.
That's the
My
sequel to
recommendation:
Rise of
always
the
have
Monarch.
this underneath.
Oh.
So that
yeah, it's a
So on
Pathfinder.
Fridays we are running Shattered Star. Whoever designed the crow is on crack. It makes no sense on the design wise. We alternate between Shattered Star and another game we have double dub shenanigans. About to do Crown of the Kobold King on that game.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, Unity and Syndicate would be the next 2.
Yeah,
games.
Unity.
I
Unity
liked
was.
Syndicate when I
Syndicate was alright.
Syndicate was
but
alright,
It's not
but
like it wasn't like a huge revision of things.
No.
It's
no,
just-
no. And again, the gameplay of those games was good.
I like the
characters
setting
are
more than
fine.
anything.
Yeah, like I like the idea of being on a train that you controlled and upgraded. That
Mm.
just
Well,
lifted
it was
the
more
shit
the Industrial Revolution thing, where
Yeah.
there was some legit like social shenanigans that were happening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or like the child labor and the forced basically the indentured servitude.
I felt really good about doing the child labor one, just freeing all the kids.
That was pretty cool.
I was like, that was neat. That was a
And
cool.
like people
thing
who
to
are
do.
going through like legal indentured servitude.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a legitimate problem, and I'm really glad they're tackling this with this game. I know it's a bit much because it obviously wasn't like that to that degree, or if it was, God help us all. But at the same time, like I like they made it so that you're a rebel again. You're not doing this high flying save the human race shit that they were doing before.
something.
It was more
What?
correcting wrongs, which I thought was really good, and that's the whole
Fair.
point of that.
No. I mean,
I don't know.
What was your answer?
gluing.
I think it was this one.
Was it Origin?
I think it was Origin.
Well, that's the thing.
Was it Origin or Odyssey?
We did forget that.
No, they put
Okay,
through a
here we
couple of
We can do
supplements
this.
As well
and
as
then they went to
this
Origin.
was a
massive
China one.
rail down the center.
Yeah.
That came out.
Yeah, which is again like a supplement.
Huh.
And yet, still to this day, Assassin's
We're
Creed has
gonna
not
put
done
we're gonna
Japan
put
for some reason.
a piece that's over top all of this.
That was the plan anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well,
How was the story on the Borderlands games to everyone?
I liked it.
Borderlands 2 was actually quite a good story.
Handsome Jack is hard
Yeah,
to
I
hate.
know. Hold on. Where's my knife?
Handsome Jack being the protagonist of Borderlands 2 is difficult to hate.
Have you heard of the indie game Tactical Waifu? It's like Lasers and Feelings, but with anime girl operators. No,
No,
check
I've
that
not.
out. I like a good waifu game.
Yeah.
That's
Borderlands
something
2
to
is
it.
a good game. Borderlands 1 was
have-
did a little bit of work.
You already have Fate Go.
I know, but I'm not playing it because I can't get into my tablet anymore.
Nope. We're just gonna
Tablet
peel.
black screen.
Yeah. Well, it's not black screen. Every time I log it in, it won't. It bounces me back into the login.
Yeah.
So,
What's this?
my tablet.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta take it down to Samsung and be like, fix it,
Why don't you just do a
Fix it.
factory reset?
because I don't want to lose my Fate Grand Order save.
That really sounds like a you problem.
No, you getting slapped sounds like you problem.
Isn't Fate Grand Order a saved on the cloud?
There you
It's
go.
saved on the cloud, but I don't have the password transfer access to do it.
Don't you remember your
There you
password?
go.
You have to generate it when you do it.
Being held hostage by a save game.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yep.
Otherwise, yeah, I would be like, boop, done, factory reset, don't care.
Yeah.
Long hair don't care.
Okay. Yep.
Although
Tom
next time-
has made the
How
next step in
unwieldy
his
is it to
bolter.
hold?
Oh, very unwieldy to hold.
Yes.
So
It's kind of like that Infinity War scene where you have Thanos has Gamora's knife on the tip of his finger, and then in the next scene she's holding it and it's like twice the size of her hand. I'm like, oh, that's some good scaling.
I like this. 'Cause,
woo.
like even Mike with his giant meaty mitts is holding this thing, and it's like this is far too large.
This is far too large.
There's like I can see this
Yeah.
being an
And this
actual
is-
thing, and then Mike's gonna go pull the trigger. I'm like, this is really gonna hurt.
and that is a sidearm for an Astartes.
Yeah.
A bolt pistol.
and let's just
Like, okay.
Not
really
one of
make
those,
this.
To be
full
fair,
size
Devin,
full
I'm
pistol.
pretty sure that this is slightly undersized. To be
Probably,
honest,
yeah.
Yeah, this I believe is undersized
Yeah.
for the.
for the Space Marine.
Oh damn! This is not big enough.
For the porpoises?
You're gonna have to extend that a little bit.
Or I would just shave that down. Like, just file it down. Or
Shove you down.
What?
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 What? I see we've gone confused.
All right. Back to painting.
Oh, Big Mike, have pics coming soon on a new gauntlet. Awesome, Shadow Crown. I can't wait to put it on.
Shadowcrown, what are you making the gauntlet out of?
Stuff.
Magic.
I am asking a question to generate conversation, Mikhail.
Well, I am looking up Tactical Waifu.
Okay.
I would think no less of you.
Yes.
I would.
Nor more.
I love that. Dave's like, oh, I would. Just because.
Tactical waifu.
It's definitely not going to that way.
Well, it's the exact size.
It's got a little...
Has anyone tried Car Wars? That sounds familiar. Is that a board game or a war or like a miniature war game? Kind of like where you had cars with different specs and builds and you fought them in a
Really
battle
is.
arena style thing?
No,
I vaguely
I'm
remember
gonna
that.
craft a new one. It's just not the right size.
Foam redesigned the wiring. So
But for now,
nice. Very cool.
That's coming together, dude.
Yeah, that is looking
Yeah.
really good. I love
that's
it.
Ooh.
That's really coming together.
Yeah.
Look at that bit.
It's making me more and more aware of how much a bolt piston is really just a firing mechanism with a handle attached. Like there's really, like it's so bare bones. Like there's nothing. It's like I need something to hold it with. I need something to make it shoot.
Yeah.
And I need the parts that make it shoot.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That I enjoyed playing as
doesn't need much of a barrel.
Claptrap in the pre-sequel.
Doesn't need any barrel.
The bullets are pretty
No,
much
that's not sad.
auto-correcting.
That's the
Shadow
thing,
Crown
they
for
don't
the
need rifling at all.
for Mike's gauntlet, are you using
they don't-
LED strips? So when you're
they don't
talking
need a
about like the
barrel.
lighting in the gauntlet
There's
or the
no
wiring in the
rifling.
gauntlet, are you? There are actual strips that you can
It's a
buy for cosplay that
self-correcting
actually
rocket
has LED lighting in it for different colors. I can send you a PDF that I bought a while back.
Are you doing like the
For,
Assassin's
for
Creed
that.
Syndicate
I
recommended
was thinking
because
of
it's
banana
on
clips.
sale
This is
on
not.
Steam.
This won't work at all.
That's how you know the
do
algorithm's working.
is the same idea for this.
Individual,
You just do the
you
scoring
sir
like you did it
have far
before,
more
and
patience
you
than
do
I
it,
ever
like,
could.
a bunch of times.
No, I know.
I would buy
But-
the
but
strips
I
of
was gonna need to
LEDs.
cut new
Damn.
strips, so this
Very
whole
nice.
thing is just.
I'm looking forward to
Gone.
seeing that.
I just need to pick
That's your
something
straight
that's
clip for
No,
the
the
right,
right
the
is
right
the
size.
Fair.
You're gonna have to
I was like, I
do
told
the
him he's
side
doing
curve
individual
bits.
LEDs for your gauntlet.
That's
I would
just-
do
that's just
LED
cutting
strips.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I like making my crafting a nightmare." I'm
I
like,
could maybe use this for something.
power to you, sir. I do not.
You're a nightmare.
Sam's unconscious.
I paint really tiny,
Oh my God,
really
it's
tiny
almost a
bookshelves,
silencer.
but
Bravo!
that's nightmare
It's
enough for
really
me.
it's a muzzle blast director. It directs it forward
It's technically a flame weapon.
for the first 5 feet. Over penetrate.
Does
and
this look
squish
any
the
better?
First guy.
Looks like honestly, it looks like a giant las pistol.
No. I may use that for something else, but yes, it's not. It's
it
just
just
not
directs
the
the
clip.
blast forward. It's technically it's a flame weapon now.
So, Devin, I have something for
Couldn't
you.
Yeah.
possibly silence.
The question: have you heard the rumors?
Many
Of the
rumors.
word?
Have I spilled the tea?
No.
Is it the word?
What rumors?
That
I heard the bird is the word.
well, it's not rumors. It's been confirmed.
Yeah.
Wizards is working on 6th edition D&D. They've
Ah.
it's been
Nope.
leaked.
Fuck them.
Oh, okay.
Not to mention 5e.
But they literally just dropped 5.
I know.
Yeah,
they let it leak that 6 was coming
Yeah,
Why?
because probably
they
because
wanted
there's
to kill their
yeah.
retailers. Apparently,
Yeah, probably because like design for an RPG starts if you're doing it properly
That's
starts
fine.
years and years and years before.
Sure.
But that's dumb for them to have actually let it leak
yeah,
because that's going to hurt their retail sales.
Yeah.
Well, why would
Well,
you
like,
buy into 5
immensely.
if you're going to drop 6?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh well, I was gonna get into an RPG, but oh wait,
yeah.
Yeah.
And the problem is too,
It's
it's,
just
not
so
like
silly.
Wizards when they do a new edition, the old stuff is still compatible. It's always no, we're going to rip up the world.
Yeah, that's
they
really
start
weird.
over.
They completely start over. It's not like, oh, it's 5th edition, but we tweaked this thing and it's
Yeah.
a better system now, right? No, it's always a rebuild, which has always pissed me off about new editions.
Yeah.
That stigma about it, that a new edition has to be a complete rebuild of it.
So, on the topics of crafting nightmares, my friend Jacob grabbed some huge rocks from his diving job to make
Okay.
miniatures out of them. I called him dumb. How hard is he in for? Is he like sculpting his miniatures out of rocks? Because good luck.
Is he
Very
doing
hard.
a golem?
Oh, I know a guy who literally his first major cosplay. His idea was, and I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to, because he's actually a really great cosplayer with cardboard, and he actually made the screw. It was. I'm like, he made the Serac skull, but his
Sure.
first major cosplay was doing the Thing
Like the thing.
from Final
Fantastic.
Fantasy IV, and he said, "You know what?
Wow.
Let's make this with real rocks."
Oh wow.
Oh.
Oh.
And he let me hold the helmet. I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Is
And
this
he's like, I know. This was a
been a huge
bad
mistake.
idea."
a 600-pound suit?
Oh, no, with just arms and helmet. Arms and mask, right?
Oh, was the rest just leotard
Yeah.
for
And-
that version?
And just like padded leotard,
Okay,
right?
yeah,
Which
that makes
which
sense.
made the difference. But apparently he went to Fan Expo with this, and those of you who know Fan Expo Toronto might have seen him that year he did this. This was like back in 2006. But people were like, "I love your costume. You want a piece?" Yeah. Rip off chunks of rock at the end of the night, put them in their hands, and walk off. It's like, oh, it's so much lighter.
So much lighter.
That's insane.
I know, but it's so fucking hardcore. I'm like, oh,
That
that's
is.
so great, dude. You're so authentic. It's like, I fucking hate this costume.
Why wouldn't you get like spray foam or something? Like
He didn't
like
have
you
access.
Get,
it was,
you
his,
get
it was
like
literally his first.
you get like the insulator foam from Walmart.
he literally did not.
Yeah,
know
but
any
back
better.
honestly, back in 2006, most people didn't realize that you could use insulation foam for something.
This is way
Um,
back in the day. Dude.
yeah.
Nowadays, yeah, we would go to make insulation foam and just chop it all day long and make jagged rocks.
Now we have
you.
YouTube with all the cosplayers from Germany and California who are saying, this is how I did this, and this, and this, and here's tutorials and books on how to do it.
No, like back in the day, man, the stupid shit you did to make cosplay work.
Yep.
Oh my god.
My very first cosplay was terrifyingly bad. Very bad.
So was mine.
Yep.
Describe it in detail.
It was a friend of mine was really into Ray Earth, and he wanted to do the two main male and like antagonist and protagonist from Ray Earth. So I've
always pronounced it Ray Earth. Maybe I'm the dumb one. Is it Ray Earth or
it's Ray Earth, so Ray Earth. I don't know. But I had to carve a gem out of cardboard and sand that down and paint it with bad acrylic. And I made the very stupid choice of doing white glue because I didn't want to do super glue because that would hurt. So I figured out white glue is fine. It peels off of things. Yeah, it does because it peels the thing with it. So I'm like, smack PVA glue in the middle of my forehead. Worked great for the con. And then in that evening, I was like, oh, why? As it started to peel off the top layer of my epidermis, taking that off, along with the makeup and everything else. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, that was a bad idea. And then the rest was just bad, like fabric land cloth that I cut into the vague shape of a robe.
Right on.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently the toy RPG book you guys were talking about is called Toy War.
Oh.
Well, we're talking about a miniatures game, but we're going to look that up more. I met someone who had the brilliant idea of using actual Ivy for her Poison Ivy cosplay.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Does not end well, missing her show and bathing in calamine lotion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Shadow Crone, you need to actually send me some of these pictures. This sounds really cool.
Yeah, because we were We were talking about.
Yeah, he puts the pictures up in Craft Check all the time, dude.
No, I know, but it's like of the Emperor's sword.
Yeah.
I don't recall seeing that. Yeah.
I just want the fist of the. Like the bolter hand.
But
The bolter hand from Calgar.
Every cosplayer jokes about using duct tape and
Oh, yeah.
and staples
Yeah.
for the first cosplays.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that trend only has recently been bucked with people like Kamui, who do massive YouTube tutorials.
Yeah.
She's a cosplayer out in Germany.
Yeah. Out in Germany. Yeah.
Very lovely lady, but she's very big on giving the information to the community, all the information she's got.
Yeah.
So what she does is she's like,
I have most of her books. It's really good. Yeah.
You need you just need like the body gloves.
Yep.
And a glue gun and some crafting foam, and you can do practically anything.
You can do a lot of different things. Yeah.
I would cut out.
It's impressive how she's done gauntlets
first.
The gauntlets, I'd like. I hadn't even thought of it because I'm doing Symmetra's gauntlet from Overwatch for Vanessa, and I couldn't figure out how to do the articulation, and it wasn't in any of her books at that point that I had bought. But she was like, I'll just do a video tutorial because she realized she was missing it. Like, let's take a latex body glove that you can get at a theater supply store that's like just very thin and form fitting. That's white. And then she takes a permanent marker and draws on where like these shapes would be. Yeah. And takes off the glove. And now you cut up the glove, and guess what? You have all those articulated pieces fitted to your hand. Yeah. And like, it's like my brain is like, no fucking way. And like, that would work. And then you just cut them out of really thin craft foam, hard coat them, paint them. Like, I know how to make Vanessa's glove now. That took all of 5 minutes. Like, okay, sure. Thank you.
It's all tips, tricks, little bits, bits and pieces.
Right.
The guy who invented gaffer tape passed away last week. I think it was natural causes at the age of 92. So yeah, if you've ever used gaffer tape, apparently we owe him a thank you.
Oh. I mean, the planning stages for the Empress are nice.
This length is fine.
So then just rotate.
I keep talking about gaffer tape. I've only ever used duct tape.
But that's a straight line. You're missing.
No, I know. But
curves.
You do this part, and then you curve the lines together. So
yeah,
priming
point
is
A
done.
to
Point B, and you just need to make a curved line between the two.
Most complicated fabric cosplays I ever did was Hojo Katamari from Rurouni Kenshin. Never made a Hikona before that.
It doesn't look good. Just don't do it.
Hojo Katamari. Blanking on that character. Been too long since I've seen Kenshin.
Yeah, same here.
Did we help with chat about how you saw me first in my cosplay?
We have told that story, but I don't know if that's conducive to right now.
It's a cosplay.
Pretty much, tell it.
It's like
I did an awful cosplay.
Oh,
It's
we
almost
got
dead.
a cosplay story. Hang on.
I did an awful cosplay of Axel. It was my second cosplay ever because my first one was of Yuna from Final Fantasy X.
Oh.
Okay.
It was so bad.
Ambitious.
Because the thing is that I had the haircut already, and I had an earring that kind of looked like Yuna's, so I was like, cool, I can get the rest of this. And my grandmother didn't understand what I was trying to do, so she's like, well, here's a skirt, and then wrap a thing around you, and then we're gonna sew this like giant yellow thing and not get any of the details right whatsoever. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then here are these 2 sleeves that I made you out of 2 different colors. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Sure, cool.
Thanks, Mom.
And then I did Axel the next year, but I didn't want to make the costume itself, so I got black pants, and then I like rented a leather trench coat from like a store, because like apparently that's when the Matrix was getting really big.
Okay.
And I just rented a coat so that way it was a long trench coat, and then I because they have like these like dangly bits, I wrapped like some like beads that I got from like the dollar store around my neck, and then hid it underneath a sweater.
Nice. Okay.
So
Yep.
that way I would have
too
the
much,
hood,
right?
so it would
Yeah.
look like there was little things. And then after that, my friends decided, hey, let's go to a skate competition because Sam's tall enough so she can pretend to be a boy. And I'm like, cool. And I'm like, all right,
That's
cool.
not.
That's not
great.
cool. Because like the thing is, everybody else in my friend group at the time was all really, really short, except for like the one guy. And they're like, well, Daniel can't play Axel because he's too wide. So Sam should play Axel because she's really tall and skinny. And I'm like, all right, cool. So they made me do this skit competition, and apparently that's where Mike saw me for the first time.
Really?
And I'm like, huh.
Great.
Just because I'm doing this skit, and it's really embarrassing now that I think about it. And then I was telling Mike about it like 2 years ago, and he goes,
Wait a minute.
He's like,
And
hang on.
Let me tell my side of the story now.
Yeah.
So around that time was 2006, right?
Yeah, no, 2007.
Sorry, 2007. I was like
Jeez,
2 years.
save it for the reception, guys.
I was in the 404s, and go fuck yourself. And we were right before the Masquerade at North, right? Because that's what they originally thought was, we'll have this improv group, and they'll just play as long as we like before the Masquerade.
For the
at North.
Masquerade, yeah.
And everyone hated our guts because they thought we were delaying it, when in fact we were filling up the time.
Yeah, right.
And the literal Masquerade heads had to say, no, these guys stepped up to help us.
Yeah. We're behind on the Masquerade like every other convention always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we were doing, so afterwards I'm like, well, like, Mike, we're going to go relax. I'm going to go freaking run around the Masquerade. I want to see all these costumes, because I was in my mid-20s. I had nothing better to do.
Yeah.
And I see this thing coming up. I'm like, wow, no one can hear anything they're saying, because it was all pre-audio recorded, right?
Yeah, it was all pre-audio recorded.
And then there's a girl coming out in the Axel costume, and I just hear her going, I'm gonna make love to you, woman, and doing the Axel dance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm never gonna be able to date a chick as cool as that. I just don't have a sense of humor like that. And so Sam's telling me this story, and the dates are matching up in my head. And I'm like, Sam? And she goes, yeah. I say, Sam, I'm gonna make love to you, woman. I've never seen her get so terrified in my life.
Because I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you know that? And he goes, don't you remember this giant black figure that was going in the front of the stage? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, that was me. And I'm like, no. He's witnessed it firsthand.
I was there.
Shame.
I thought it was cute.
My shame. Yeah, there you go. That's cool. That's a really cool
Sam,
story.
First moment Big Mike first saw you, you got it memorized? Yeah.
What would happen if the Imperium found the G1 Transformers? They would just assume they were Necrons and bolt their fire blowing shit out of them.
Yup.
It would depend on which Transformers they... the G1 Transformers...
You guys know what a macro shell is?
Yeah.
It's a bomb the size of a building.
Yeah.
They fire out of a cannon.
The thing is, they would get one,
Sure.
and then they would just scan all the Imperium ships and vehicles and just pretend to be them.
That's true.
And just be like, cool. And as they come in, it's like, you have crossed a line, humans. That being said, I would love to see the Imperium Man fight the Decepticons.
I would love to see a tech priest discover a undercover transformer.
Yes.
This one's machine spirit is wacky.
It's someone annoying like Blaster.
It's like,
Look out and shout, Pops! What are you touching for?
and you're like,
Ah!
this one needs more oil.
This one needs more oil.
Sprinkle. Kick.
A macro what now?
Macro shell. It's a giant bullet shot out of a spaceship.
Okay.
That's 7 kilometers long. No, the spaceship, not the bullet. But the bullet's like, it needs something like 300 people to load. Or some insane shit like that. Space warfare in the 40k universe is out of control.
I'm convinced that the legendary Pokemon Genesect is just an Insecticon. It also uses cassettes.
I don't know.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Shadow Crone, have you learned the 2 key things about cosplay? 1, breathability, and 2, having pockets somewhere, and 3, actually, making certain you can go to the bathroom? Have you learned those lessons since? Because that sounds like a horrible experience.
That being said, there's one cosplay I always wish I could do, and I know I'm never going to be able to have the money to pull it off.
What?
Kane is as Kane from Legacy of Kane.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because
You have too many fingers.
You've
the
20
guy with
fingers.
lightning coming out of his hand
What?
with the white hair.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
I played the game. You have too many fingers.
Yeah. Oh, fingers. I thought it said figures. I thought that was a too. Yeah, that too.
Then you like to talk too much. Just would we not be able to keep that scarf over your face?
That's Raziel, dude.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's impossible to cosplay Raziel. He has no stomach. It's a spinal column at the back of a zombie body.
That sounds like
That
a
is
quitter's attitude.
that is not impossible. I've seen people do it best in Photoshop where they have the lighting, where you have like a black suit and you've painted the spinal column.
Yeah, there's that.
But yeah,
Or, Christian Bale.
well done. Yeah.
Devin's the
from
only
the
one who's going to high five you, and that's because he has to.
Is that
Yeah.
for the machinist? Yes.
Yes, the
Oh,
machinist, like,
ugh.
I don't understand how that man is like, I will gain 40 pounds, I will lose 60 pounds, I will gain 20 pounds. Like, what are you doing to your
He
body?
is an a-hole.
Apparently, he has said, "I need to stop doing that."
Yes.
Oh, good.
Good. Live like a normal human being.
For what? What?
Because Christian Bale's nasty habit of body modding himself through weight loss.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine his bowels don't recover very well. Like, what's this soup? Can't do it. We'll die.
Why would you make the choice of doing summer cosplays in the winter and vice versa? You can choose a cosplay. The cosplay does not choose you necessarily.
That's not true. When inspiration strikes, there's nothing you can do but give in to the muse.
I think all those Sailor Scout cosplayers really have it easy. What with all the white and the breathing skin areas and all that stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, that's Kamui.
What?
Did you want to show Jordan?
What is it?
This
Oh,
is
yeah,
the
yeah, I
Kamui
saw
chick
that
we were
one.
talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She
does
you
really
are
all of
liking
her
that
really
a
good,
lot.
You are somehow liking that 400 times.
Baby, no.
What?
Your finger
Like,
You are somehow liking and unliking that 400 times.
You were clicking on the photo rather than holding it.
It was just with his pinky. It was like heart.
heart, not heart.
To be fair, I do like Kamui, so it's
Oh, yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
fine.
but you really let her know just now.
Her Monster Hunter stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
She's walking away from that for a bit, isn't she?
No, it's she
dead.
she's doing Anthem now because it gives her a lot of fabric options to work
Yeah.
with. But
Roleplay as Arthur Dent.
is
Dresser
Arthur
towel and a cup of tea. I roleplay as him daily. He needs a bathrobe, a towel, and a cup of tea. I do that all the time.
all the time?
I do
do
that
wanna
at
go to-
home.
Yeah.
I do want to go to Fan Expo as Uncle Ben. Just go, Peter. And just
Just
fall
go up to every
over.
Spider-Man and just have someone come in the door and shoot you.
Yeah, Peter.
Ah!
I'm just gonna walk
Sam,
around
look
with a
up that
box of
person
Uncle
from League of
Ben's.
Legends. I have no idea who that is.
KDA. Oh, Kaisara. Hang on. I
Oh
know
god,
this
there's
one.
100,000 characters in League of Legends.
I know
No,
that's
it's
that's
KDA.
Yeah.
Why can't you just stick with Ash and Jinx?
Hang on.
There's
or
two.
what was like that guy the knight with
Or a colleague.
the knight that has a T like Torben or Torin or whatever. He was one of the first League of Legends.
I don't know, it
characters.
doesn't matter. So Tom has decided that the box mag that we've made is too square and doesn't fit well.
And now I'm
So
looking
he's
and now I'm
redoing
looking
it.
terrified as he's cutting like towards his fingers.
Towards my
Ah,
fingers.
okay, cool. Yeah.
Look,
Nice.
it's his 10 fingers. He can do what he wants with them. You're not his dad.
Not his dad.
I bet
You're
his
dead,
dad. His
Todd.
dad would have laughed his ass off.
Tom is allowed to.
Yeah,
Tom is
yeah, so-
allowed to make dad comments. Definitely.
Mike, someone at New York Comic Con did the Uncle Ben thing already. I know. I want to do it too.
When Mike sees a bit, he wants to take it
And go further.
Yeah, there we
and
go.
ruin it.
Yeah.
So Tom has decided that we want to try out the curved banana mag
Yeah, the
that would
banana
normally
mag.
come with a bull pistol.
Yep.
The one that allows you to fit at least 21 rounds, so you can do that 3-fire burst
I wanna
like
do
a
that
pro.
one.
7 times. Then reload.
Nice. Very cool. Nope, Vanessa and I are doing our very first entry
Well,
into
what a-
cosplay,
yeah,
and
back
like
a little
most
bit, Mike's
projects
leg
that we
is
do, we're
longer
jumping in
something.
the deep
It's,
end.
it's coming out like
Oh.
this much. It's not even close.
It's just what we
Okay.
do. So we're both, because we both fell in love with the Halloween skins for McCree and Symmetra for Overwatch. So we're not doing normal Symmetra, who has like complex articulated stuff. We're doing like her summoner costume that has wings that fold around her hips and a very long train of a dragon snake down the back. And McCree has a Van Helsing style with all sorts of articulated bits. Like, I've never done cosplay before, but I have all of Kamwi's books, and I'm slowly learning.
See, I want to do the. Hang on, I'm going to show you what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something from anime?
No, it's Mass Effect actually.
Oh,
Yes.
I might know what it is then.
I want
Yes.
to do.
Oh, the Dragon Age Mass Effect armor.
I do.
I love that armor
I
for
wanted-
Mass Effect 2.
I want so badly to do this armor so bad.
It's really good armor.
So
I love
good.
it.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't matter what class I'm playing. I wear that armor
I know.
like all the time.
All the time, me too.
It just
I
doesn't
love
matter.
the Dragon Age armor. It looks
Yeah.
so good.
Yep.
It
That
would
was awesome.
totally kill me, but I want to. I totally want to do it.
Cleaned it up a little bit for you. Cleaned it up a little bit for you.
Also, I don't care about all the crap that
Nice.
BioWare is getting for Anthem because of EA.
Okay,
I
so
love
these-
Anthem.
one of these
I'm having
pieces
so much
obviously
fun
has
with
Cool.
this
to be
You're like one of
shorter
the 3
than the
people
other.
who are.
No, I know specifically 5 people who are having a lot of fun with it.
Are they all playing with you?
Yes,
That's how
For
you
what?
know.
exactly. Anthem.
He's enjoying Anthem.
Oh.
Now, if you wandered
And I had a
into
lot of fun
that
with it.
alone-
It's a great
What?
fun game.
Now, if you wandered into that alone with no support group, would
Oh,
you have much fun?
No.
No, because the game actually encourages you to play with others. I'm like,
Isn't
others.
but as a solid, it has a solid story in my mind. It has lots of dialogue choices, just like a BioWare game should. It has a lot of codex and lore, just like a BioWare game should. So I'm okay with it. I see where a lot of the commentators are coming from, but I feel that they're just trying to nitpick in order to get clicks.
One's a
So-
little bit too short.
I was wondering if Sam wanted to do Tally. I wanted to do Tally second out of Mass Effect because I love Tally as well. She's.
And I realized that these won't work.
If the Chiss ascendancy and by extension Thrawn were as in Warhammer, would they be allied with the Tau? Not really.
No.
Thrawn doesn't get to play well with others ever. He just says, "Rule me," and that's not something the Tau believe in.
Nope,
No.
nope. All right, so that's done. That's
right
I think
done.
I'm really chesty for a Tally.
It's not a bad thing.
That's how you end up on Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
Work for Jessica Nagiri.
Yep. Yep.
Come
did.
on, honey, don't you want to be famous?
Son of a...
Like Jessica Nagiri? I'm never gonna say her name right.
Nigiri.
Nigiri.
Nigiri, yeah.
Nigiri, like the.
Let's
the-
fight
the
about it.
food. Like the Japanese food. Nigiri.
I need to shorten the... I need to strip
But
off
then it'd be nigiri.
a chunk for this.
I always thought it was
probably is.
Nigri. Because it's Nigri.
I think that we should stop promoting
English.
someone else.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
That's painted. Or undercoated. That's undercoated. Okay. What am I going to work on next?
I don't know. Tell us what you're working on next, Evan.
I'm trying to decide. I have painted braziers. I have painted
done two.
ruins. I have painted
a little bit.
I've done some undercoating on these guys.
Just a little bit.
That yeah, I admit I have hobby ADD. I
If you
always do.
still worked at Graves' Workshop, they would have kicked your ass by now.
Oh, I rarely painted while I was at the store because I would get bored so fast. So that's why I usually talk to people and
it's
try to sell.
Nigiri, not Nigiri.
Treasure chest. Thank you, Tipsealer. Done.
Rusty to the rescue.
All right.
Tally is apparently everyone's space waifu. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
tried, and
want-
she was immensely disappointing.
I want.
No, she was my favorite.
And then I
romance
stuck
option.
with her, and then she was like, "Hey, we should wipe out the entirety of Legion." I'm like, "Hey, so that's genocide, you know that, right?" And she's like, "I'm gonna throw myself off a cliff." Then I'm like, "What?"
I want my.
And she died.
Garrus.
And then everyone died. I was like, Why?
So, Big Mike.
Because you didn't make the right choices.
Oh! At my
I'm sorry,
game
I didn't want
store-
to wipe out an entire race because she didn't
No,
like
no,
them.
you didn't.
You didn't make the right choices. You didn't have to. You could save both races.
She disagreed.
You
I
made
know.
You made the wrong choices throughout the other parts of the game.
Yeah.
Because
So-
I was able to save both races
As well as Mass
and-
Effect 2.
I get it, Tom. You're better than me. Thank you.
So, Big Mike, at my game store, there's an unsung rule for anyone wandering around 5e. Get them to run something other than Horde of the Dragon Queen.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
Why did we swap camera angles back?
Because nobody was painting anything for
okay.
a little while.
Yep.
So I switched it over so that way people could have something.
Yeah,
to put
and
in the
Devin's really hogging the board. I'm
Oh,
just off on
shut
the
the
side
fuck
right
up.
See, we can actually see what Tom's doing better with the wide lens.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Devin needs a
You
full
could have
four-
sat here.
Devin needs a 4-foot table.
Oh, crossbow.
Devin is the equivalent of that girl that spread eagles on a king size bed.
Wow.
How would Thrawn and the Chiss Ascendancy interact with Warhammer 40k? They wouldn't.
They would all die.
Yeah, because they don't have enough firepower to be a presence.
They would all die.
And anyone else who... And there's no one who would take them in. Except maybe Chaos.
There would be a memo sent around that a new Xenos has been discovered, and then the Dark Templars would have a lot to say about that.
Yep.
And by a lot to say, a lot to shoot about that. They have a lot to shoot about that.
Yep. All right.
That in Warhammer 40k, the Space Marines have wiped out
Oh, by the way, someone voted for
significantly
treasure
worse
chest, though.
things than the
Yep.
Chiss Ascendancy.
And treasure chests.
Right.
I am painting. I'm starting painting treasure chest, putting a mid coat brown on it, and seeing. And then I'm gonna highlight it up with dry brushing and see. Highlight until I like it. But that is what I'm working on. Thank you, Tipsiller, for helping me my indecisiveness. All right. So Tom, I made space. If you wanna move over, you can. You know.
Sure.
Apparently, I'm the go-to sad bastard that ran it, and they point them to me every now and then,
I'm
like,
just being a
talk to
bastard.
him.
You
Listen
know,
to his
as
hour-long
one
rant.
do.
Used to be 3 hours. He will suggest something better. Yeah, I've heard nothing good about Horde of the Dragon Queen, apart from the fact that you will make it better.
What?
It's okay. When Dungeons and Dragons did their first 2 adventure paths for 5e, one is Rise of Tiamat and the other is Horde of Dragon Queen, right? Or which one goes
Yes.
first?
I believe it's Horde of Dragon Queen is.
Yeah, they are also now currently considered 2 of the worst modules we put out for 5e.
Yep.
Why?
They're just not very good. Like,
Poorly
Like, you
written.
have to really
Didn't have a
retool
proper
them.
ending. Yeah.
yeah, you have to really retool them to make them work properly. I heard WizKids is working with Hasbro to produce minis for Transformers, G.I. Joe, and My Little Pony. Oh, fuck off.
I love that.
Transformers
Oh,
already has a
fuck
card
off.
game, for fuck's sakes. And I don't... Hasbro has enough of my money. I want to throttle back a bit.
That's enough of my money.
That's why I had to actually, like, I had to go through all my war games and be like, Jesus, all the stuff that I have here, what am I going to paint? What am I going to...
Yeah.
She was like, that's like, okay, I'm not playing War Machine and Hordes. I'm not playing Blood Bowl, which was a really difficult choice. I'm not playing,
You
like...
really liked Blood Bowl.
I really liked Blood Bowl, but there just wasn't a community for it anymore, so I'm like, yeah. But I still use those models because... Vanessa's sister bought me Blood Bowl models just before making that choice. And I was like, well, definitely still painting these Skaven regardless.
you can
And
just
still
always
very
tell her
appreciative
that.
of it.
You can just always tell her that
They
you
were
have
part
them.
of your Christmas list, weren't they?
Way back they were, yes. So I was like, well, gonna paint them and I'm gonna use them and they're gonna be part of my set that I will always have because I have a full Blood Bowl set and they're part of it.
How
So
many L5R editions have there been? 5.
5.
Because it's L5R. Ha 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 ha.
But good luck finding first edition,
Yeah.
namely the core rulebook. Most
Isn't that
people
just
just use
You're
the
only
set.
finding the 4th ed core book. for God's
Isn't that just
Yeah.
a splat book for like D&D?
Yeah.
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 You can find PDFs of it, though.
Yep. Most people just use the second edition core rulebook for first edition and all the first ed supplements.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
We are almost done at the 3-hour mark.
Wait, crap. Which color was I using?
I don't know.
Oh, thank you.
But you know, because I'm still frustrated that there's been no announcement that we're getting a sequel to Curse of Strahd.
I'd said it's the. I know you're upset about that. I'm not surprised. I think they're trying to build on other settings. I wish they would. But
You heard the ex-Bioware people are making a 5e setting and campaign.
the ex-BioWare people.
No.
No.
Making their own setting and campaign. I'm like, that's a good move.
That is.
That's
Cool.
going to be a good setting.
Yeah. Like David
I don't know who.
Gallier,
I just said-
Gallagher.
I just read ex-Bioware people.
Neat. That will be good. Looking forward to it. But yeah.
I hope Pathfinder 2nd Ed gets a lot of love.
What, sorry?
I hope Pathfinder 2nd Ed gets a lot of love.
I think it will.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
I'm not...
The only
I'm not
people
that
the only
optimistic.
people who I have heard actually attack it are the really like the vocal minority on the Paizo forums, and that consists of like 20 people
Yeah.
who are angry about it, who just really love First Ed and are angry with how
But
it
I mean,
works.
First Ed has its place. They're not forcing people to switch.
No,
I mean,
Well, okay,
that's
to be fair, if you're doing a new edition, you kind of are. Because it means the
No,
old edition
no,
isn't getting as much content.
but
And the
how
thing
much?
is,
No,
though-
but how much content is there for fifth?
There's
for
way-
First Ed?
there's-
Too much. It's too
so
much.
much.
There's too much. I don't
So
argue
then
that.
no.
point.
So then I understand. I understand that people want new content, but
There's so
I
much.
mean, you
It's-
can have so much fun doing your own homebrew,
yeah,
your
at this
your
point.
own world.
There's how
So-
many adventure paths are there now?
there
like 20.
are way more than that.
No, like paths, not full parts.
They are up to 142, which is sitting in like that. It's over.
Divide that
20.
number by 6.
Yeah.
That's how many they have. They're
Yeah.
142 for modules. So there's more than enough content to play
Oh, yeah.
through if you're stuffed. There's more than enough expansion books to do whatever you want, even though
Yeah.
not all of them are great. I argue the only one you need is Ultimate Campaign.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Plus the bestiaries.
Plus bestiary, yeah.
But no, like it's the other thing is too. I do agree that Pathfinder needed to have its rules trimmed.
Yes.
I don't agree with all the choices they put in there, as we've discussed ad nauseum.
Yeah.
But
I'll probably do the spot.
it's still it needed to happen.
And
What I
it did.
wanted was the unchained
just because I wanted to.
Starfinder hybrid that I
Yeah.
didn't get.
Exactly.
But you know, if
I think Starfinder was great. I think it needs more attention, to be honest.
it does, it really does. It really does. All we're gonna get though is nothing but splat books of like here's races, guns, and you don't need anything else. Just races and guns.
Just races and
everything
guns
else
and
is up
races and guns and races and
Everything else is
guns.
up to you.
Racism guns.
Yeah. Have any of you ever bought
I
acquired
don't like
dice?
this pistol. It's real racist.
Like, this is real race.
I think that the people of this culture are inferior
Stop
to
there.
us.
Stop it,
Are
Mike.
inferior to us. Well, you see, this gun's just got problems. You thought I was going to say a real culture's name, didn't you?
Yep.
You people all should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah,
And
like
then
it's never happened.
I was like, you mean everyday occurrences? We can't base your current behavior
Oh,
on
shut
your
the
past
fuck up.
behavior.
Yeah, it's called a trend.
Have any of you ever bought or / acquired dice of rare uncommon metals like dinosaur bones, meteorite, gold, etc.?
No,
No,
Scott
'cause
Scott
they're
has.
expensive.
Scott does. Scott does.
Scott
None of us
does,
have.
'cause-
Yeah.
And we
Too
told
rich for my
Scott
blood.
he can't use them because none of us can see any of the letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Specifically by him, yeah.
the biggest problem with those kinds of dice is that if you lose it, I mean, you spend a ton of money on something that could fall anywhere,
It's
Yeah.
a
and
lot
you'd
of
never
money for
find it.
something trivial, and
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
I mean, and
like a gold dice, are you out of your fucking...
No, a buddy of mine from that plays in
Are
a
you about
separate group.
Are
He
you about
has
to defend this?
no. Just saying, they make good collector's pieces. That's it. They're not practical.
Never did
And it's,
Yeah.
and for someone who likes collecting things, like someone who likes collecting a lot of tech or likes collecting a lot of like books, a collector type personality, he has like mammoth bone, just all sorts of ebony and all sorts of things.
It's like, is mammoth bone that common to be made into dice, really?
No, but that's why it cost a fuck ton of money, and it's a collector's thing that he doesn't
Who gets
use.
like
he
a
just has.
mammoth bone? It's like, you know what we're gonna make of this? Fucking dice.
Dice.
Like, what are you, out of your mind?
Devin?
What is
Yes.
wrong with you?
What about the Yuzan Vong? How would they be in Warhammer? They'd be pretty much killed.
Dead.
Dead.
Murdered.
Dead.
All right, yes,
Should we
bring it
kill
over
the
here.
Force?
Bring it over here for
That's
camera.
so great!
So what do we need?
The Force is nothing in the face of the Emperor.
Let us show you what the Force is.
It's like,
So
as the
this-
ultimate
so it's bent
expression
around
of
like
the
that?
dark side
Yeah.
of the Force. I
I'm
should
hoping to
lightning.
maintain the curve.
Every
of
psyker
and
ever.
Also, it is
Hold my
long,
beer.
which I will cut.
Okay, so match it up to
Match up
there.
there. Top,
Finish,
and
yeah.
but-
We will
I do that shit by
mutate you.
accident when I'm
No,
taking
don't
a
the,
dump.
Don't the Yuzan Vong create mutations and shit?
I guess
I don't know. Point is, Boom!
You know,
Cyclonic
either the
torpedoes.
Oh,
are
wait,
the
wait,
solution.
wait.
What?
or just the
What?
All
tyranny
good, all good, all good.
and be like, this is fun. Let's put this in this.
Cyclonic
little chromosome.
torpedoes are the solution to a lot of problems, man. Fuck.
Just
Just I put too much. Thank you. It's still hot, so you should be able to do it.
Cyclonic torpedoes, the cause of and solution to most of 40K.
Yeah.
The problem is there's
Go.
not a lot of shit that really can
Twist,
do well
twist.
in 40K. Like even the Borg, who are this horrifying.
We're having
huge
another
thing.
Mechanicus moment here. Hold on.
Man, our Vivid Mechanicus is
So
Hot glue,
this side,
hot
right?
glue.
This side,
the
right?
machine
Yep.
spirit must be a beast.
Line it up with the outside.
Oil,
Yeah.
oil,
Ungens.
ungens.
I still want a
Really
Wormwood
icky
GM
oil.
screen.
Oh, I so want a Wormwood GM screen too.
I've got my clear blue one. I like it.
Made by
Dave,
Dave.
What?
Yep.
What happened?
the GM screen you made me.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Dave made a
There we
what
go.
is it?
Okay.
Plastic
And now we hold it in place.
acrylic
Fancy
GM screen
Holding.
Yeah.
for you with acrylic hinges. The whole thing, so
I
it's
love
see
it.
through, and you can
Oh,
put your own
it's like a-
supplement stuff in there.
Okay,
And
Sam?
he
Yeah.
uses it regularly
Ah!
to stream.
I'm out of commission, guys.
Oh,
being used as a
he's
heater.
done.
And Mike's done.
Yep.
Yeah. But I really like the the Wormwood screens, the magnetized ones. That where you would normally bend a screen, it has magnetic attachments to it. That's really neat. But
Borg
our
get whiplash from time travel. Yeah.
The Borg versus Imperium.
yeah, we're not done holding this
Maybe?
in place yet. It's because it's got a curve. Like,
The Borg are pretty bullshit.
Yeah, but like then the Necrons.
How
show up as,
long
like,
does it take to cure?
Look at
Yeah,
it.
the Necrons would
30
roll
seconds.
through and just
Okay,
like,
so
it's been a while,
like,
so I'm
okay,
just making
so
absolutely
we'll-
certain.
Yeah, some of this. When it
like
reaches the
versus the
55 minute mark.
Imperium,
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
say.
So they're what, 15 seconds?
Yeah, another 15 seconds. And
Yeah,
you
no,
should be
Borg
okay.
cubes aren't. Well, how big is a Borg cube?
Oh, it's huge. It's the size of.
Like it's a couple of kilometers wide, right? It was
Oh,
very much
oh,
bigger than the
Okay,
Enterprise.
It was,
slowly,
yeah.
Like 3 or 4 times, I'd say.
Slowly.
Well, ask Tyler. We'll know. He'll know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm
Hey
even
Tyler,
trying
if you're
this.
watching, chime in.
Tyler.
He's probably not.
There we go. And,
I'm gonna
and
text him. Just be like,
Tyler,
Tyler.
Flash,
is a Borg
flush,
cube at least 3 times as big as
and
the Enterprise,
something
and
to
we will
cut.
hear the
Something
scream
to
from
cut.
Oshawa.
Now we've got the
That weird
the
phenomenon
inside.
that's
The
happening
inside,
again.
Do you guys feel that
This one's
pressure
mainly
wave?
straight with a slight bend right there. Because on the inside, I don't care about the
So,
cardboard
for
as much,
content-
but this
for,
is a
context
much
sake,
smoother curve.
Tyler, the
Yeah.
Asian
So it's
guy,
the
is
bottom.
very
yeah.
into Star Trek.
He's into Star Trek the way you're into Warhammer.
Yes. Yeah.
Very into Star Trek.
Oh.
I like Star Trek a lot. Like
Yeah.
a lot, a lot.
I
It's
think
what
it's a
my
bit
mother and I have
sanitary.
initially bonded over when I was a child.
Actually, my mother and I too. We watched a lot of.
This
Next
isn't your
Generation.
story, Devin.
I am part of every story.
Look
I
at
am the
this goddamn
storyteller.
limelight stealing motherfucker. I'm trying to have a nice story. He's like, me too.
Me too.
Cunt.
Jesus. Such overreaction.
Big Mike, what's a cooler, not necessarily practical mode of transportation?
My watch
Astro train.
just saw my blood pressure increase and asked me to meditate for a minute. It's like, hey, buddy, a minute of deep breathing can clear your mind. I'm like, shut up, Watch. You don't know me.
I want to be mad right now.
Fucking badgering Watch. You're like my mom on my wrist. Get out of here.
I thought you were bonding
You
with
and I
your
were just
mom.
having a bonding moment, and your blood pressure is spiked.
Big Mike, which is a cooler, not necessarily practical mode of transportation? Astro train or Serpentera? So, a train that turns into a space shuttle and a giant robot, or just a giant dragon robot that has power failure issues?
What?
I'm going to go with the one that is able to keep its power going.
So that would be Astro train. Well, I don't know, because
What
the problem
question is that?
That's a,
It's like, this one is faulty. Is this a good choice? No.
it was-
Not
it
in
was
space, it's
cooler.
not.
It was cooler, not about practical.
Yeah.
Oh, which is cooler?
Yeah.
The Dragon All Day. Trains are lame.
I would have gone with the Ishimura, even with all its problems. But, you know.
I want to not suffocate due to lack of life support.
Tim Stormer just asked, does anyone
Yeah.
sometimes feel like they are an NPC in their own lives?
At
Yes.
times. At
I
times.
am far too narcissistic for that.
No, I
feel like all the
never
rest
feel
of
like
you
an
are
NPC.
NPCs in my life.
They're
Yeah,
they,
right.
It really depends on what's happening. Like the certain things happen beyond my control.
Okay.
Like God, okay.
I think
all
this
right.
one was written very poorly.
I would
This
say
one's
I
dialogue
do.
is fucking terrible.
I would say I do, but
Why
then
does he
keep in
always
mind,
talk
my
in
NPCs
third
are like
person?
Nauticus and shit, so my NPCs are all fun and outstanding.
Sorry, I need to hit A and hear that dialogue again.
Yeah.
Can you repeat yourself?
No. This isn't JRPG. Don't be a ponce.
Hooray! God damn it. There's more to do.
Oh, I did that
I
wrong.
don't like Serpentera, but it does look.
Yeah, you did. That happens.
Kinda
that happens.
now.
Wait a minute. Does that mean...
No.
Oh, that's fine.
That's
Yeah, that's
good.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Well, there's only one side of the display piece, plus
Is
a
it at
paper
least
mache.
3
So
times
it's
as
fine.
big?
Yeah, it's true.
So I went on to try a Borg trying to adapt to a bolter round and feel like, yeah, that's because it explodes in their chest.
They don't have time for shields.
Let's get
to
those
adapt.
let's get those nanobots a rolling.
Yeah, the biggest problem
blows
with
open the
bolters
shielding.
and Borg is that it blow the fuck up.
Yeah,
Well,
Borg.
the only reason the Necrons do so well is because they're able to regenerate and get back up.
Exactly.
But they do not do so hot in the first initial
Nope.
fuselage.
Exactly.
Just Borg, the
Salvo.
salvo, yeah, Necron shit everywhere.
But yeah, I'd like to see a Borg cube versus
All right,
a
Mr. Hot
battle
Glue
barge.
Gun. Let's
Yep.
do
And
this.
just watch a Borg
All right.
cube
The
explode.
battle barge
probably
is like
has-
90%
Wouldn't it
guns.
make more sense to do these?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it'd be funny.
And the way that void shields work, or shielding in general in 40k, is a void shield is literally that. It's a shield made of the warp, where they've harnessed it, and so when stuff hits into the shield, the reason it doesn't hit the ship is because it's being funneled into the warp.
That's cool. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, so you're pissing off a lot of demons.
Guys,
You're like, oh shit! Ah!
have you guys seen
You just drop the
Dynamite
bomb and
Valhalla
Frankie the
screens?
demon's
I'll
hut.
take a look.
I can imagine that. Imagine dropping a piece of artillery into Frankie the Nurgle demon's house.
And we can't figure out why the warp is constantly upset with us.
Fuck those guys.
Garbage piece.
We consistently
on
tear
the inside,
holes
who
in it
cares?
to travel.
That's a very good point. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Devin, just
Ripping
attach.
a devastating hole
Yeah,
in it with a
pass it.
Geller field.
Go.
You know, keeping the chaos from flooding in.
A Geller field to a demon is like us if you were able to jury rig a microwave to work with the door open. Like, oh, fuck!
This is dangerous. I feel my skin melting.
Yeah. It's unpleasant for everyone involved.
Ooh, these look nice.
There.
And Tom, you can make a big beefy base for it too, right on the bottom.
Yeah, so
pretty nice.
basically, we just.
Yeah.
If you're doing crafting with cardboard, always get double corrugated cardboard because it's really sturdy and accepts hot glue very nicely. It's got these nice
It's
deep
into-
pockets.
It's into all the nooks and crannies.
Exactly. So all the hot glue just gets into the nooks and crannies and just works very well for bonding. So we got. Now we have the banana mag.
Good.
Yeah. Well, let's
Well, this is
let's
not
see
the
how
banana
it.
man.
I always like to
It's
see
not the
in
banana
progress.
man.
We'll
The
let that
Banana
re-
Man is a.
we'll let that rest for another.
Yeah, let that
minute.
rest for a little bit more.
Is it
I'm not a fan
weird
of
that
banana
2000
man.
sci-fi shows like Stargate and Farscape are never talked about? I have not heard people.
I love Farscape.
do
Farscape
not
is
shut up about
a
them.
great space opera.
I thought Stargate was great. I thought the last show they did was terrible.
Oh, the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I feel like they lost track of their own
Galactica.
plot.
All right. What's
Yeah.
sorry?
That's because it was trying to be Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, it
I didn't
was.
see
They
Yes, it
lost
was.
track of their own plot. I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
the first season.
Big
I
Mike-
feel like it would have wrapped up if they got a movie, a book, a fucking 2-episode season 2. But yeah, they didn't do any of that. So
Given how fucked up 40k is, I'm shocked shields are even a thing.
That's true.
Yeah, we've lined the ship with heretics.
Yep.
We call it a blade of plating. It's made of people.
Yep. So I finished both of my treasure
sit
chests with a
outside of the
mid-tone
shields.
brown. So those are all done. And now I'm gonna decide. I'm gonna see what it looks like whenever I use a black wash on one of them, and a soft tone brown wash
What
on the
was
other.
Stargate Infinity?
Wasn't that
That was the last one.
Yeah.
No, universe was the last one.
Oh.
Stargate Infinity.
The one
was
where
a
they're all in
video
this
game.
giant ship they couldn't control, which was real stupid.
Universe.
That was Universe.
Yeah.
Stargate Infinity was a video game.
Was it?
No, wait, it was a cartoon, and it was terrible.
Ah, I could have done so much with that. I love
They wanted to so badly adopt like the Warthog from Halo as a vehicle they could put through the Stargate.
Yeah.
And cartoons.
That looks
it was a
really
cartoon,
cool.
And it was
That looks a lot
ridiculous.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Oh, that's
That looks
meaty.
a lot better.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
Once I
big.
figure out how to properly keep this in
Like
place
mount it?
without having to hold it, but basically, yes, this will be.
Depends on if you're using the Martian pattern or the.
Well, considering that it's got the banana clip and it's a newer model, it's the Godwin pattern bolter.
There you go.
Mm.
Yeah. I have no fucking
Mark
clue what
3
you just
hooker.
Mark 3. Sure.
said. I have no fucking clue what you just said. The Godwin pattern?
Magnet.
Oh yeah, no,
right.
magnets or Velcro. That would work. Magnets or Velcro. That would work.
Yeah.
You can put a couple of magnets in the top there and a couple of magnets on this guy. And just click.
Oh shit, it's 503.
Tyler's answering the question.
Oh,
Hang on, we gotta.
Oh,
Answer.
Tyler's actually
He
answering.
said interesting question. That doesn't answer it.
That is
Thanks, Tyler.
That's not an answer at all.
What did you ask him specifically?
How big is the Borg cube compared to the Enterprise?
interesting question. And
That
like,
was
thanks.
probably- I think that would be answered in the episode they initially see a Borg cube because they're like, "What
It's
the fuck
fucking
is that?
Yes.
It's goddamn huge.
Yeah.
We've never seen anything of its size before."
I still remember that moment just as a child watching that.
It was intense.
Oh, it was intense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
magnets probably.
Like, and the music was really well
Really one on each
really
side
well
here.
done for
And
it.
then
The
the
whole
strong
set
ones.
piece
Don't even strong
was really
As
nice.
long as because again, it just
Okay, and now the
as
brown.
long as it's a hole because of the problem. is just
One
it's
thing
there.
3,000
is-
meters on every side. It's 3 kilometers every direction.
3 kilometers in every direction.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's pretty damn large.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on.
Well, the
No,
Enterprise
that's in
itself is almost
kilometers.
yeah, but
Yeah.
The Enterprise itself is almost a
Apparently
kilometer
it's
long,
supposed
isn't it?
Yeah.
Baby.
It was-
But it's not a kilometer tall
No.
or wide. You know, it had a saucer section that was
Okay.
like 250 meters tall at the most.
Wow. The Warhammer 40k Battle Bard size. It's like the second thing
Oh, they
that
break
comes up.
apart in the magnetic.
Yeah, that's what I want.
What do you got?
We're getting there. Hold on a second.
Now, in British tradition, will it be in miles?
No, it'll be kilometers. British,
Okay.
your
Like, two different
The Brits are
colors.
nuts. Why do they use miles?
battle barges are about 60. Hold on. This first guy says 6 to 8 kilometers.
Depending on the pattern. We only have so many of those.
All right, chat.
6 to 7
Yeah.
kilometers. Mostly because the metals that they use make it more unwieldy. to
So for
walk
you on your right, wait, there we
Unless
go.
you have a
This
like,
is the
chapter
black
master ship,
ink
which
chest.
is not a battle barge.
This is the brown ink chest. Which do you prefer the look of?
Just taking some progress photos. Looking good.
There. So I'll paint the rest of the chest that color then. Black ink chest. Thank you, Jack. Anyone else?
Ooh, what's?
So the same base color of where was it? I think
It's the same brown base color,
Yeah,
but,
same brown.
but you did a wash, right?
Yeah, they're saying black.
The black
Cool.
looks
Yeah.
much better.
Okay, cool. All right, done. I can actually probably paint the black
The
over
left
top of
looks
this when
like
it's dry.
oak, the right looks like spruce.
Oh, neat.
Actually, it is 5:06. We should be calling this a day.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you.
This has been a fun
everyone who came
time.
out
Yeah.
Today.
Actually, that's a very good point. I should probably just paint them different colors. I definitely prefer this one. As is drawing, definitely prefer that
We
one.
will see you next week.
We'll see you next week for something. Week before game stream?
Yeah, week
Yes,
before game
week
stream.
before game stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then after that, it will be
Shadowrun.
Shadowrun.
Oh boy.
Peace out, everyone.
Take it easy, everybody.
Oh, we're leaving.
Bye.
Love you.
Really?
Yeah.